What? That's the Drake?
No,
this is Casio. He's from New York.
He don't like nothing.
South from Mexican line.
I haven't heard the Drake yet.
I think we live now.
We started live.
I think we live! God damn it, Marvin taking the shit.
It look live to me.
It look live. Alright, so look. Listen, now say for is we gotta live life, right?
What's up?
We gotta live life. Sorry for the delay. We was living life, and we back now. So now say for is episode 20, whatever the fuck number that is. We got my man Sherrod Smith. Give him a hand clap. You know what I'm saying? Some accolades. My man Steve in the background with the Casanova. He's from New York. He don't like nothing that's out of New York.
You know, originally that's where I'm from too.
Really?
You from New York?
Yeah, Manhattan.
Manhattan? Where Manhattan?
LES?
Okay.
He's
All right.
from 105 and First Ave.
Oh,
Me too.
okay.
I'm
That's
105.
what's up. I'm from South Bronx.
I'm from Second Ave.
When did you move down here?
South Bronx.
93, 94. We've been traveling back and forth for a minute.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So New York. You can't just yell, brah, right? You gotta be blood today. You can't just be,
Yeah.
You can't be like, brah.
No.
You gotta be gang for
No,
that.
nigga.
No.
That's a blood thing? I ain't even know
For
that.
it
To be real.
Real?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about
You
that.
can say it, but
You can say it, but somebody gonna press you.
All right, I'm gonna tell y'all a story real quick. Give me your handle real quick, and I'll tell you a story. Then we gonna jump into your accolades. What's your handle? Do you know your handle?
my handle?
Yeah, like
my handle.
oh, that's
like,
slang
what's
for
your
like
handle?
what's your name for Instagram? Sherrod Smith 22.
Sherrod Smith 22.
Yeah, he know it.
Sherrod Smith 22.
So real quick, we was talking about can you just say brah? And I know you can't, cause I don't shoot you. But I was in Harlem in Sylvia's, and I was a young middle school dude, wild and crazy, and we out front throwing up gang shit that I learned maybe 2 years. You know, I'm stupid. I ain't nothing about me gang affiliated. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you was in a gang.
No, I was not. So don't listen to this nigga and get me shot. I ain't never been sex tripping, none of that shit. But anyway, my family, but not me. I'm out front throwing up all type. I'm doing Crip, Blood,
Same time.
all that. And a Muslim, I didn't peep it. So it was these, you know how they got them row homes with them lot of steps and shit, that Crooklyn shit, right?
Yeah.
So my man's and them, they cross the street and I see him in the peripheral and they kind of do one of these. But I'm out there, bitch, doing. So one of the Muslim brothers came to me and said, "Hey, young brother, I don't know what you're doing or not doing, but I'm just gonna let you know if you ain't about that, cause I see you on a field trip with your kids and shit. If you ain't about that, you might want to stop." And all this shit is real. You might want to stop, cause my man's over there checking you. The fear, nigga. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
For real?
I didn't want to use.
Just
I
like
said,
that.
"Peace be with you." I did all the positive shit. So yeah, that black shit was jokes. If any of you Bloods watching this shit, he a Blood though. You see the red hair? He a Blood.
He got on
We
a
still
blue
good?
shirt.
Oh, it went out. Let's restart that. So for the audio listeners, we still here. We still live. We got Sherrod Smith in the building. Let's go over what we did this weekend while we wait for the video to come back up, which might be we good?
You should have came, man. Yeah, we good.
All right, so we recapping the weekend before we jump into.
Anybody got their Wi-Fi on? Turn your Wi-Fi off.
Oh, if you got the Wi-Fi on, turn it off.
Oh shit. Okay.
I was one of them. God damn, I don't never do this shit.
That's what it was. Too much trying to get it. All right, now I'm good.
Matter of fact, before we go into the weekend,
you supposed to come to the cabin, yo. What's up with that?
I'm gonna go to the cabin, but Chris is told me some more shit I don't like.
Yo, you was in New York. You was in New York.
No,
I was in New York. We was in New York, my nigga. We was in New York. We was in New York, my nigga. Real quick. So we got Sherrod in the building, right?
Right.
And it's a few things we want to bring to light.
Right.
Currently, he's a student life counselor at the Seed School of Maryland. What does Seed stand for?
I don't know if it's an acronym, but the Seed School is a preparatory boarding school.
Dope.
Public boarding school, so it's nothing private. There's an application process. However, anybody can apply.
Nice.
Anybody can apply. What you got to do to get in though?
Be black and poor.
Yeah, it's considered a high risk school. I don't know the entire list of requirements, but
pretty much disadvantaged youth.
Disadvantaged youth.
Upward Bound was another cool program I participated in.
I knew about Upward Bound.
It's a great
I
program.
never did that though.
Yeah, it was dope, man. It was
good.
great.
Outward Bound too.
It's a bump with your bounds.
Yeah.
Get you out wherever you at. Let's finish kissing his ass. He also holds a Bachelor of Science from the University of Baltimore in Business Administration, specializing in human resource management.
Right.
He's also a business owner. Your Workout Pal LLC, limited liability company. He's a fitness instructor, auto mechanic. Nigga, I am halfway high. Fitness instructor, auto mechanic, and a photographer. He is what you call a Jamaican. You know Jamaica got a lot of jobs.
Right.
You a Jamaican?
Yeah,
I'm not
he's
Jamaican. I'm not Jamaican.
Listen, say Lord mercy. Say Lord mercy.
Lord mercy.
So we got Sherrod in the building.
Right.
Not safe to end. So we're gonna jump into what we want to jump in, but let's do a quick recap. What y'all do this weekend? Lady ass motherfuckers. What y'all do this weekend? Have fun.
Go ahead.
Live life.
Background your
Start-
first.
start with-
Steve, what you do?
What you do?
Background your first.
So you came, yo.
I chill, man. Like, yeah, I mean, like, a few days, but I've been going
Yo,
to
Steve,
2
real quick,
months
just show him your
straight.
face. Yo, it's been 3 or 4
Nah.
times you talk. They don't even see who
They
he
can
is.
hear my
Don't
voice.
you like
They
Mr.
know it.
Mr. Ghost?
Nah,
Mr.
Mr.
Ghost.
Cause somebody gonna jump in the DM like, who is this guy?
Right. We're gonna send him a fake picture of an obese, one tooth, no dick nigga. Like, that's
What?
Steve. They'll be mad as mother.
No
So Steve,
dick
how was your weekend? They don't know who it is, so we just gonna send them a fake motherfucker. They gonna start spitting against Steve.
That's
You
a
just
lot.
so
They gonna
intellectual.
know it's better than that, bro. They know it's better than that.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
No. I just like, you know, like sometimes you do something, you're going too hard, going too hard at work, going too hard at the gym. I woke up Saturday morning, my body was like, fuck out of here, you're not going nowhere. That's kind of what happens. That's kind of what happens. Yeah, and your body will take it from you.
Yeah,
If you
it's
don't
gonna let you know. It's gonna be like,
exactly.
I know. They call me Mr. Physical Rehab. I stay in that bitch so tore up.
hey, it's gonna be all right, bro. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. You making back though. You making
I'm back.
You
I'm,
bounce
slow.
back
I'm
quick.
trying to get back. I gotta put these burgers down, but that's another story. What you do this week? I saw you was living, man. Tell them what you was up to.
Just came back, like got back in town maybe like an hour ago, not even that. From VA Beach, went out there Thursday, chilled out with the fam and whatnot, my little one and everything. Just been having so much going on. I was like, all right, cool. We're gonna go hit the beach. We're gonna do some walking around. Yeah, thought that was gonna happen. Wrong. I'm sitting out on the balcony, you know what I mean, chilling, like drinking some single malt scotch. And really just kicking back for real, you know. Been ripping and running for the last, couple months. Y'all know, got the house, the baby, and everything like that. So, I just took this time because I knew that when I got back in town, we was gonna hit the ground running. So, took the time to chill out. VA Beach.
What you do, fuck nigga?
Went to the West Virginia house, yeah.
Woo!
I went there, got there like midnight, right? And I didn't have directions because I was like, I've been there 4 or 5 times.
Right.
And there's no address you can put in your GPS to get there.
See,
It's
this
just like,
shit be scammed.
turn here, go up 3 hills,
Shit.
go across like 3 bridges. Once you go across 3 bridges, is the third left, and then when you see the bear on the right, that's it.
That's that haunted movie shit. But continue.
Yeah, so
Last
I
cam on the
was
left.
the whole time thinking like, yo, how the fuck, why can't I remember? But all my directions was good in my head. I mean, I got there, but
Right. Shit. Had a good time though?
yeah, it was good, yo. Y'all
All right,
came,
so,
yo.
all right, I know
Not you. I know you had shit to do, but
So this the fuck you. This the elephant in the room. Check this out. I love this guy. Right? This is my man, y'all. He said, "Hey, you should come out and chill with us in West Virginia." All right. So already that's a trigger alert. But cool, I'm with it. He says there's no service, and you know what I'm gonna tell niggas, yo. All right, listen, we about to dial it. Look for the bear on the left, the third right from the bridge.
I would have. You could have followed me up, yo. You'd have been good. It's nice though, yo.
It does look nice.
We
Now,
had-
I ain't gonna stunt. The videos I saw
We
in the
made
story.
hella margaritas. You know what I'm saying?
I saw y'all was out there.
Food
We
look
left a
good.
lot of beers there. Yeah, put hella ribs on them. Made some burgers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We had breakfast. I was gonna make French toast pancakes,
Oh, you
but
don't plan.
I didn't do that shit because.
Everybody.
I just man the grill like fuck it. I ain't doing that.
Right.
But yeah, shit's chill. Yo, this is what I did last night. That was dope, yo. That you can't do here. It's too much light pollution here.
Mm-hmm.
So like you go outside in the city, you can't see a fucking star. You know what I'm saying? I went out yesterday, it was like midnight. I watched Jurassic Park. And we was playing some games and shit, just on some chill shit. Watched Jurassic Park. Then I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go outside and like just look up. And I just laid like right near the pool and just was like staring at the sky like, nigga, I can see constellations. Like I can see everything that I've never seen before. That's why I was like, yeah, it's just.
Yeah, sometimes when you're in a different space, like everything looks a lot clearer, and it's like almost like you get one of those like kind of like like a moment of clarity or
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
exactly what it
that.
was, yo.
Like we need
So,
that.
Yeah.
Did you see the guy in the bushes jerking off to you?
What?
No, it's like, cause he was there, man. It's just
Who you gonna call, boy? You ain't call nobody out here,
I
boy.
was looking for Bigfoot, yo, cause
Yeah,
it's
he's out there
secluded,
too,
yo.
yo.
It's secluded. It's like
Sasquatch and
you
shit.
could go like. We was looking at the house like, yo, if the back of the house was just floor to ceiling windows, that shit would have been so dope because
Right.
literally
Oh,
you
yeah.
looking out and you see like just woods and animals and shit. We seen a mouse, yo. I opened up the grill, right? And a mouse was just sitting on the grill plate, just staring at me. And like, I think he was scared. 'Cause he ain't moved. And I was trying to like,
Nah,
I was
chilling
calm-
for a whole year. Like, what
he
is
was
the
like,
fuck?
what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing here, right? So I'm calling everybody. I'm like, yo, I was trying to move because I didn't want to startle him. I'm like, yo, come here. So then, like, my brother coming out, and I look up, I turn back, he's gone, right? So my brother come out, and Kristen come out, everybody was looking, and we trying to find him in the grill. I'm pulling grates off and like those little things, those little like that help the heat go everywhere. And I look up, I open the bottom of it. He's sitting down there doing the same thing. What the fuck, yo? What are you doing here? Like, that's how he was looking at me. I'm looking at him like, yo, I'm trying to cook. Yo, you gotta get the fuck out. Food.
I ate that little bit.
They did let you say that. Turn them up on the grill.
I wouldn't have ate
My
him.
brother he was chasing him around with a knife, yo.
Yo, you know, Daniel's sick.
He crazy.
Man, I'd have put some baby rays on his ass.
Sweet baby Ray's, the spicy baby Ray's.
Nigga, holy kind, nigga.
So, all right, so let's jump back to the topic.
What the
Let's
fuck
get
you do this weekend? You asked everybody
Me,
else?
I just chill with my lady, man.
Him and his girl, they
was harassing that Gil.
Well, we do that all the time. You know,
They took some Benadryl and had sex, like see how long it can go before they passed out with the sleep.
Now, listen, when you get that detail, that's how you know they do it, right? That's how you know they do it. Exactly. Use some Benadryl pills, crunch them up, put them in my eye sockets, because, you know, capillaries and shit.
My eye socket.
God, shit. No, we just chill, yo. I got a crazy ass fucking dog. And, I went down National Harbor, man. Every time I go down that bitch, it's just better and better.
You went to National Harbor?
Yeah.
You win money?
No. But I'm gonna tell you what.
Gamble?
Weston, what's the name of that new hotel? It's called the Weston Inn or something.
Western.
It's these motherfuckers. Don't just back
You
the
said the
home.
new hotel?
Yeah, it's like one of the newer ones out there, and they got the dudes in blue shirts, and they just pull up on you like, "Hey man, you want a trip? 7 days, 8 nights, motherfucking free everything." And you know it's bullshit, right? But sometimes, especially if it's a brother, like a black dude or whatever, or like a mother, you know, I get a feeling like, let me let them talk because I know they do this all day. And most time, motherfuckers like, get the fuck out my
You try to
face.
give him a chance.
Yeah. So he had me at first, right? And he ain't had me, but he had me. He like, yo, this and that. I'm waiting for the small print. He said, all we need from you today is a $40 deposit. I said, bitch, the fuck? I said, I ain't got it. He said, all right, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna pay 20. I said, I still ain't got it. All right, bro, just leave me 10.
Oh, snap.
Now it was legit, but what they do is they book you for like the next week.
Right.
You at the house, I ain't go to that dumbass seminar for an hour and a half. They get $10 off you. They just keep flipping like that. Well, I said no.
Seminar for hour and a half.
So when these hotels, if they give it to you like that, they say you get a free. You do a tour and you sit down for one of them like
That's the same thing.
them workshops, right?
Yeah,
the timeshare, and if you sit through the whole thing, you get a free whatever the fuck. Well, I was cool with that. I done came and sat there, ate that little bullshit ass continental breakfast or whatever it was, and got my free whatever the fucking was. But then right before I was done, he was like, all right, all we need now, and that's how you know a nigga about to get you. And he said, all right, last thing, all we need now is a $40 deposit. So that was my weekend. National Harbor, good food, chilling with my wife, and then trying to not
They
get
had a threesome with an 85-year-old lady and shit.
Yeah, we know that.
You did that?
I did that every weekend. That's not it. That ain't Paula.
Look, and then Bill said you didn't invite me.
Hey, Paula, no, man, as shit.
This out mad as shit.
It's like them old ladies.
Honestly, I always did want to like get head from a lady.
With no teeth.
Your wife will be over.
Calm down.
My life would be over.
Your wife. All right, so let's jump into what you're doing now.
Let's
You're somewhat of a guidance counselor
Yes.
for the kids.
Yes.
What is that every day? What is that like?
Every day I work with 9th to 11th graders. Okay. I was actually the only staff member that had all 3 grades.
They respect you.
Coming in there,
You go like
especially
that, do it like say it again, bro.
new adults, not just new to the education field, whatever. So they definitely want to test you. I established myself quickly. And
Were you worried at any point?
Nah, not at all. Cause I'm from the hood, so I can relate to the children. So I definitely didn't take any foolishness. The students are on summer break right now, so yeah.
They saw your tattoo game.
Mm-hmm.
They just like,
Mhm.
fucking with him.
At first they did. At first, cause I wear a suit.
Did you like lock the door on one of the kids? Like, go ahead, say it again. Say it one more time, man. Come right here.
Say
Nah,
she can say it now.
never that.
Did you tell him that you got that wound from being stabbed? in a gang related incident?
Nah, but a lot of them have asked me if I was gang related. I'm like, no gang affiliation.
And that makes me even more think. So I know a lot. I don't want to say too much. I'm kind of like flowing through it. So when I first met you, right?
How'd y'all meet?
All right. So through my man's, I feel like I know all of y'all through somewhere. Like I seen you at a party somewhere, but
you don't know me through anybody.
You're right, true indeed.
Brandon
Page, my man Brandon Page. Who was it, a fight night or something?
Bluffing ass show. That's what you go.
So Lord, bluffing ass show. He'll invite you to his wedding and don't show up to his own wedding. This nigga Brandon. But when I first met him, he was at a fight night, and Brandon was telling me my man's coming, and it was something on the lines he man cool.
Right.
And in that same conversation, somehow we got to his past. And the reason I want to have him on the show is because everything he's doing now, giving back to kids, and this whole like life change or reforming of sorts, he didn't come from that. And how detailed he wants to get in that murder, drug dealing, skinning heads and shit. How detailed he wants to get into that will be something he decides to do. But give me some of your background before we get to that position and you eventually going to college and getting your degree. What were some of your humble beginnings? The type of atmosphere you grew up in, and some of the things you want to touch on in your everyday transactions as a young man.
I guess it's pretty normal, sad to say, single parent household.
Right.
We moved from New York to Baltimore.
New York. No, we're gonna do that right. Cheers.
All
right, that was the last one. I'm sorry.
The whole set shot up.
No, I didn't. Ignorance. I didn't know.
Lord. 93, 94. It was on Park Heights.
That's a nice part. U-Town or?
Nah. It was Cold Spring, Park Heights. Yeah, it wasn't a nice part.
That's why you got my first couple tattoos at.
Right. 95, we moved to the county. I went to Old Court Middle.
That's where the fuck I know you from.
This nigga Mark from everybody low.
This nigga know everybody middle.
Yeah, man.
You beat him up?
Nah, I didn't beat him up.
Why y'all be friends?
Why? How come? Is that nobody beat nobody up in middle school? Nobody ever
beat Guess I got beat up a lot, y'all.
Look, nobody
beat nobody up for no reason?
I just beat nobody up.
Alright, so you came to Old Court.
I went to Old Court. From there, I went to Milford Mill. You know, some people went to Randallstown High School. I went to Milford. That's when I started fucking off that 11th, 12th grade. Didn't graduate.
You didn't graduate?
No, I graduated. However, it wasn't with my class. I ended at night school. So I was supposed to graduate in 02, but I ended up graduating in 04 in night school.
Yeah, 02 to 04?
Right.
What happened in 03?
I was an asshole. I was a big asshole. Drug pass, probably like everybody else, got in alcohol, ripping and running the streets, clubs. I didn't start getting locked up until I think 04, 05 though. Yeah.
Beating your cellmates up and shit?
Nah, I wouldn't beat my cellmates up.
See, when you said that calm, I know you was fucking them up. No, we can't
Right.
You fight now though, right?
Nah, I don't fight. I trained with Nick a couple times.
I
trained with Nick a couple times.
You can't be out here scrapping.
Huh?
But
No,
so
I mean like in Muay Thai.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's how you
guys. Now we trained a couple times, but
that was just it.
Yeah, that was
little taste of it.
Is he does he got hands or?
He has a grappling background, so I definitely wouldn't fuck with a single, his underhooks and shit like that's gonna be a problem for you.
I wrestled and played football.
You got as heavy as what? What was your heaviest?
As an adult?
Yeah.
Like 305.
Yeah, you don't just hold 300 pounds.
Yeah, I was over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
jeez.
So
that was the humble beginning. So
this is the humble beginnings, right? So
right.
we got a young man from a single family household, drug addiction. You in an impoverished area. You trying to get your way out of here. Section 8 is how you get to the council. I got to the council.
No, Section 8. Look, my mother bust the ass. Like, she wasn't on Section 8.
What's wrong with Section 8?
No.
Can you buy food stamps for people anymore?
Yes,
you can.
That's how I know you bougie now, because they still do that shit. That's how I know you don't ride a train. That's how I know you don't ride a train.
Connect today.
Oh, you can't get on train, some food stamps and all that. So now you got to, and I'm gonna let you jump right in because I feel like you want to say something, right? So we know that part.
Right.
You finally get your degree.
Right.
And is it somewhere in that line or?
Yeah, it's somewhere along those lines, but it was more so like because I can resonate with somebody, with the single parent.
Right.
And all that kind of stuff, and I know at what point in time I changed my life around, for the most part. But at what point in time did you realize that there had to be, something to change within you in order to, you know, break into the next level of your life?
You know what? Going to jail and it's crazy. Kanye said, you know, get arrested until you get the message. That's actually real. Like, it's all fun and games. You doing G-rides. You going out with your homeboys.
G-ride. For those who don't know, what's a G-ride?
Go ahead.
Just acting the fool. Being
not
so
shit,
nice.
That means
in
you got
public.
that phone call. Hey, yo, we about to ride out.
We about to do something ridiculous.
Yup.
And it's just stupid, causing havoc on society. Well, I appreciate you, but I got some passes up.
Oh yeah, he don't drink. Sorry. You don't drink?
No,
Okay.
I've been talking. I appreciate you.
You used to drink though.
Used to drink.
Can people drink around you without you getting crazy?
Yep. People who drink, smoke around me.
Alright, cool.
When I started getting too old, sitting in jail, writing letters, getting letters and pictures and whatnot. So I'm like, nah, I can't
Getting
do that.
pictures
for you.
Yeah, so at the time I had a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? She would send me a photo and whatnot. Nothing explicit.
What? She wasn't a good
Why not
girlfriend.
explicit?
She was not a good
Why not?
girlfriend.
They take those in jail. You can't.
Oh, yeah.
You can't have explicit photos.
She was just sending me some real sexy shit, though.
Yeah. It's like, alright.
Yeah,
You like, damn, I'm looking at pictures of you at the house when I could be home with the stupid shit that I did.
Yeah, you couldn't. So Marv, you was answering the question, when did it all turn around for you? What was your rock bottom? And, you know, you had his diploma, somewhere in between that time, picking G-rides and acting a fool, ended up in jail. G-rides, gangster rides. Like, just everybody getting together doing dumb shit.
That's what that's called?
Yeah,
You get that
That's
phone
actually
call.
real.
Hey, you riding or not, bro?
You riding, you out. Somebody show up in a car that had bad tags, probably jacked up registration with a bunch of liquor. And you just
Hammers.
yeah, you
Couple
like,
L's in the car.
right,
Already
you
like
you
3,
know
4
what?
dudes in
What
there.
we doing tonight? Nothing productive.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing productive.
Nothing.
Nothing going out.
You we off camera we were talking about some influential people in your life.
Right,
And I feel like this is a perfect segue.
Right.
So you're in jail, you have a girlfriend at the time, and you have friends in your family in your corner that's looking out for you. And one of those friends, I don't know if you want to say the name or not, they pretty much said, hey, look, man, you have a life. Even though right now it seems like your options aren't open to a lot of things, there are options to you, and I can help you through those options. So
Right.
you want to talk about how that went down? You're
Before we get there, because we kind of like at a spot where I got questions and I don't want to ask them. You feel like you've done all of that stuff. You feel like right now you're at a spot where you think like you know where your life's headed. It's going where you wanted it to go. Where like you didn't think maybe back then this is what I could be. Like, do you feel like you on your potential scale? People say like, Marvin, you are living up or you're not living up to your potential. You think that about yourself? Do you think you're there?
Nah, not yet. If you would have asked me 2 years ago, would I be on you guys' podcast talking about my accolades? I'd have laughed at you like, what? Like me? 5 years ago, would I be a college graduate? I definitely would have laughed at you like, what? Like Sherrod Smith going to college?
Yeah, that sounds like a college name.
Nah, right? It's like, Sherrod Smith, like, he graduates, like, nah, do I feel like I'm finished? No, because I've accomplished so much now that I want to keep going.
Yeah, but you know where you got an idea where you headed, and it's not like at this point.
I see more of the world, you know. I went to Mexico at the beginning of the year. Me and one of my best friends.
You got a Mexican girlfriend now?
Nah, I ain't got a Mexican girlfriend. Nah.
You married?
Nope.
He the first person we had on the podcast in a while that it's not like not in our you got a girl? Nope. See?
Hey, ladies.
It's the first time in a while.
Hey.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot us the DMs.
Don't pat me in the back head up.
Yeah, shoot him the DMs.
See, listening last
No
week,
DMs.
we couldn't say no DMs.
Yeah, I ain't
Oh,
say
You
it.
don't like DMs? No, you don't like DMs?
Nah, no DMs, man. Look, I don't know what happened to the generations, but I feel like people are just too free with what they say. They just jump in the DMs and it's just like, hey, you want to do this and this? I'm like, no.
They don't give a fuck.
Right, they don't give a fuck. It's like, I
So
got
help me
morals,
out,
yo.
how's that a bad thing?
Hold up, we went off on a mean tangent.
Yeah, that's what we spoke.
No, I like that. I like
It's
that.
like-
No,
it's like-
but you said this is a question you would have answered, and then you said fuck with the DMs.
No,
though.
we still there.
I ain't want to show your own question. That's all.
No,
Thought we was
so
leaving.
do I feel like I'm there? Not yet. I don't know where I'm going to end up. I'm always looking for opportunities. You know what I'm saying? I'm always looking for segues to do something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
All right, so you want you back in the DM now?
No.
I want to hear the DM answer.
So I got another one for you.
Would you go to? Would you?
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish up.
Would you?
Go ahead, Axel. Go ahead. I got you after that.
Would you go to Utah?
Utah?
Oh my God.
You would go to Utah.
What's in Utah first? What am I going to Utah first for?
For a counselor seminar.
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure something out. Yeah, we'll figure something out for you.
Absolutely.
But my question was based off of how he said like your potential and everything like that.
Right.
You know how you said it still scares you. At what point? I mean, because I know I have a certain belief behind it where if you don't. If your future doesn't scare you, then obviously you're not going hard enough, or you don't believe that you can, really push the limit.
I'm sorry, bro.
So at what point in time, like, did you realize, like, yo, this is way bigger than me at this point in time, or like my potential, like I really just started seeing the crack of my potential, and now I can really see the light.
When a bunch of my friends and peers were like, they would go out of I feel like they would go out of their body to help me because they seen something in me and trying to help me along the line, getting through papers that I had to write that I was having issues with, proper citations and things like that, filling out job applications when like people like Nick, just hit me up like, yo, I'm proud of you, everything that you're doing, alright, so now I need to hop on that train as well. And if other people doing it and see something in me, I'm like, all right, now I gotta recognize what I could do.
Mm-hmm. You gotta see it in yourself.
I see it in myself.
I ain't absolutely. Well, bro, whatever with the whole counseling thing, just being able to give back in that aspect of, from coming from a troubled past and trying to, let people know like it's a different light out there that you can be, that you can be focused on. I salute you myself. You know what I mean? And that's always good to have somebody come on like that. You know what I mean? And be able to give back to the community in such a way. So, I'm proud of you too, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I wish you'd have kept G-Riding, but no, so all right, so those you went from dropping out,
right,
in a sense, right?
Well,
getting your diploma.
Yeah, so I didn't drop out of high school.
Kicked out of high school.
It just slowed up. I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't doing my work, so it wasn't so bad that I couldn't go to night school.
Right.
So my grades were okay that they let me in a night school in order to get my diploma. So my diploma says Baltimore County Public School instead of Milford.
Got it.
On it.
So now, as for the young woman and man out there looking like, okay, damn, I feel like I'm behind the curve.
Right.
I wanted you to touch on that college thing because my inspiration for me, I went to Bowie for about 1 or 2 years. I don't know who else in here is a college graduate, but sometimes we deal with that that anxiety of like, fuck, getting back into the groove of things. And I watched you do that shit. And a lot of times you might have friends and family take on an endeavor and you're not betting against it, but you wonder like, how serious are they? Are they really about it? And then you just pop up on my fucking text, it's like, yeah, I got my degree. And like, all those years, like, I'm looking back, it's like, yeah, he was going at
University of Baltimore.
How was that? How was that, like, going for somebody who, didn't do it the, per se, right way in the beginning, reinvesting yourself in it, and then...
So I feel like once you go through a few things and you mature in your life, you understand what you want. So, Nahal, we was talking about the young lady that helped me. Nahal, because she's Indian. She approached me and she was like, you should get into school. I'm like, I know absolutely nothing about college. I've been out in the world working, doing whatever, hustling. I said, what am I supposed to do? Well, we ended up getting me into CCBC, into the community college. Yeah, she's a Baltimore County chair and teacher, department chair. Yeah, she got my transcript because I couldn't even get my high school transcript. She picked my major. She was like, "We're gonna try."
That's a friend, yo.
Yeah, she was like, "How about we try
friend.
business management?" I was like, "All right." No.
I'm saying.
Nah, she's not married. She wants to be married. She should be married. She's not married.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Denzel.
Don't do it.
Don't you fucking do it. Don't do it. All right, go ahead, see. How should this help me?
Look like 50 Cent.
Actually, yeah, that's it. Absolutely.
So she helped you pick out your
she chose the
You
major.
guys met over drinks?
Nah, we met in high school.
Don't follow Denzel down a rabbit hole.
Man, let this
I was working at
Go ahead,
Ford. I was a cook, and she
Listen,
got a
those
job
questions
there.
are covered though, so you get ready.
Nah, it's all good. I'm ready. I was working at Ford Records at the time, and she applied. And she was a server, so that's how we met. Back in 01.
Alright.
Right.
So she helped
She helped me get into the CCBC. She chose my major, it was business management, but they had more math than I was able to tolerate, so we switched it.
That's what's making me nervous.
We switched it to business administration because it was less math. I ended up
business management.
Yeah,
Yeah.
business administration is it's more papers that you got to do.
It's more broad.
Yeah.
It's way more broad.
Business management.
Business administration is more broad.
Oh,
than
okay.
Yeah, that's why.
So you can go more places with the administration.
Yeah.
But I heard that shit's
What
worthless.
does math do? What does math help anybody if you're not in
Finance, budgets,
Finance, accounting,
Nigga,
econ.
calculators. How about that, yo?
You got
I'm
there's
an
a
accountant-
theory behind it too.
If
It's
I'm
not
an
just a number.
accountant, yo, calculator is my
He
best
said
friend.
cal-
yo.
Right.
Calculator.
But if you don't know the inputs, the functions that you need for that particular math, you
Guess what? They got a manual for that shit.
You
yo.
see? While you ready with it, that motherfucker over there was like, alright, 8 times 8. And you over there using fingers and toes and shit.
Nah, yo.
So
Right.
she helped you with the paper process, everything that comes with
and I got
college student
into
later life.
right as an adult. So I was 26 when I
How old are you
got 33.
26 and freshman in college.
And a freshman in
You
community
got fucking
college.
17-year-olds in there. Well,
Right, and that was the mindset. I'm like,
You
I'm
get the
older.
intimidation of
I
like,
didn't-
damn, all that. Yeah.
I didn't have any of the foolishness going at that time. I already stopped drinking. I already stopped smoking weed and everything.
You started
like
drinking
that.
at 26?
Oh goodness, I haven't had a drink since 2011.
My man, give props.
Good props. They're ready to do a pop. You hating bitch.
No offense, yo.
Give him a lot of props. Give him a lot of props. That's what he said.
It's been a while. Wait.
What you want to say, Denzel? Go
I'm
ahead.
just saying. I mean, okay. Did you
Was it
have to like hit a spot that you feel like I gotta give it up? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so the thing
He was
is,
G riding, my guy.
Stop saying that term.
So I'm gonna tell you what
That's
you're
what
drinking.
you
I'm gonna tell you what
said.
you're drinking. I don't like the taste of alcohol, so anytime I was drinking to get drunk. Like there's nothing social about it. So
We can do what Nick does. You know what his favorite drink is? I'm not even joking with you, yo. He drinks fucking the girl that was at the thing the other day. She said he drinks fucking
Blue Moon.
No,
rum
shotters,
rum shotters, and buttery nipples, yo.
What's your buddy do? What's that? Is that a drink? It is a drink, though. That shit sound good. Fuck y'all.
Yo, you can't be yo, you gonna push up on a girl at the bar with a fucking rum chowder in your hand, yo?
That's funny.
Yeah.
You're not, yo. You're very glad that you never listened.
All right, so
The college, so I was older, so I didn't have any other foolishness in my mind. I'm like, you know what, I want to finish. So I ended up getting through the community part.
fast forward just a little bit. How was it when you finally reached the goal degree?
So
Get your degree.
it was funny.
All that hard work.
I had to take a statistics class,
Oh my God.
and that was my last course that I needed to get the diploma.
How much did you pay her to do it for you?
I didn't pay. She helped with the accounting and the econ classes, and shout out to Julie also.
Julie, the hitter.
Yeah,
The girl
she-
my
was at the
homie.
thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I had to take a statistics class, and I thought I failed it or whatnot, and I ended up passing the class, but I didn't go to the graduation because I thought I failed the statistics class. They mailed me my diploma saying congratulations, blah blah blah.
Damn, you ain't go. I
didn't
didn't
go.
wait.
They
They gonna
mailed
kick
me-
me off the stage.
They
Fuck
mailed me
that.
my, so I was able to participate in the ceremony, and I didn't even know.
Oh man.
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep going. I enrolled into University of Baltimore, no break, and finished that. And I actually went to that graduation. Hey, got that cap and gown. I was like, I ain't
So
messing
you
up.
talking about from a dude? Let's show the dichotomy and thought, right? Just the spectrum of it all.
Right,
G riding.
right.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not even trying to be funny right now. You
Right.
got somebody who at one time or another you can see him in a lineup.
Yeah.
Went to jail, right? And now is walking across the stage with other
Yeah.
college
Do
grades.
you tell your
That is
your
amazing.
colleagues that you know about your past? Do they know?
Yeah. Some of them know.
They respect
Not
you
all.
more, or do they? You know?
I think they look at me differently from when I first got into the school to now. Because like I said, I wear a suit. every day.
Yeah.
And they looking at me like, who the hell is this guy? He show up, he look like the head of the school.
Like Ghost from fucking Power and
shit.
Yo, it's Ghost.
And he's like, oh wow, so you actually got a pass. I'm like, yeah, that's why I wanted to work with the children, with the students. It's like, even though you come from the dirt, don't mean you can't be a beautiful flower. You know what I'm saying? You start somewhere. Sound good, and it's the truth. You just you have to want it. And you can't be a lazy ass.
Yeah. So you don't drink, you don't smoke,
right?
You don't like DMs. Yo, what's your vices, yo? What do you do that you be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do this? And don't say like.
Well, hold up, he didn't say he didn't like DMs.
No, he liked all that shit at one time.
He had to be wildin'. That's all he said.
He insinuated that he didn't want another one. If he never got another DM, he would be fine.
That's not what he said, yo.
Maybe he don't
want to
jammed up.
He was like, yo, I don't like them sliding in on
you
the
like
DMs.
DMs, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't like, yo.
A girl pop
DMs
up in
are
your DMs,
entertaining,
titties first. You upset?
No, I'm not upset, but I know I ain't fucking with her beyond a certain point.
See, that's the thing. So you think it's like, yo, if she popping in your DM with the titties out already, it's like, yo, you really about to jump on that?
Who else DMs she hopping in?
Guess what, bro? We all. We get.
First, yeah, throw me in there.
No,
I'm watching. We all get TV.
He's about to have everybody on.
I'm not going to. Yo, why are we allowed to be? Why we allowed to be sluts, right? And girls supposed to be able to just accept that shit, and that's cool. But they can't tell you when they want some dick, yo. A girl can't hit you up and be like, yo, you my crush. I've been looking at you since 2016. Cool, I'm trying to fuck. I don't have to be.
They just can't do it with the first DM. They gotta be like the 8th DM.
But why not? Because you know, so look, I understand where Denzel's coming from.
Why we get the pass?
No, dudes can't do it either.
How many girls? What nigga?
Not the first DM, no.
No, we can't get away with that. We can't get away with that because we know we can't get away with that. But we wish we could. We wish we could. Yo, how many girls you had sex with? Go.
I don't know.
Too many. If you were a girl, if you was a girl,
I already talked to the wife about it too. I just. You said them messed up. Hey, yo, no, I think you saying that. I'm gonna let you finish. We're not gonna let you speed past that. Yo, when he asks you, you go like this. I really don't know. I said I don't count.
13. That's his magic number.
I'm just friendly.
Even if you met a girl, she told she had sex with 25 guys, and she was 30 years old, you would think that was too many, but like, that might be, if she started at 15,
right.
That's like,
2 a year.
Less than 2 a year. That's not that bad.
I'm not bad at it.
Nigga had to do math in his head. That's too much.
But nigga, at the same time,
you say that calculator.
I'm just saying.
But no, I understand where you're coming from, though, because we've made these social norms and these double standards for everything we do, and sometimes it's either we over censor it or we don't censor it at all. So it's like we don't know how to find as a society. It's like we've had a problem with trying to balance things out.
Exactly.
Especially
women.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't be too timid, but then they can't be too aggressive.
I feel like
they can't be too slutty, but then they can't be too prude. It's like
I feel like that's more out in the open. So once you actually develop a conversation or some kind of communication with somebody, all the freaky shit come out.
Hey, we got somebody in Utah. You'll find out.
Oh God.
What's going on in Utah? We got a question for me today too. We got a question for me today too. I put in the cup. Hopefully we get to it.
Right.
So is it time for that? Okay, let's give him his hand over and thank him for coming on. Sherrod Smith 22. All right, you got some badass kids that need some whipping into. Send them to an OG Ride Thug. Change his life up.
We're gonna rush. We're gonna run.
All right, so now this is the Is What It Is Cup.
Yeah.
My man Mark gonna answer the topics and
this is part of the fuckery that we've been waiting on. But look, man, once again, thank you for coming on, giving your handle one more time.
Sherrod Smith 22. I appreciate you guys for having me on. This is dope. First podcast.
I designed this whole set. Me and Mark.
Appreciate it. This is dope.
But look, make sure y'all get us any questions, notsafeforears@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at notsafeforears. Denzel Skywalker all the way to my left. Then you got Nicky Nick, and he's still will not change
Nicky
that
Nick
fucking
with a
name.
K. You know what?
Yeah, please change your name, yo.
People told me not to. I put a poll up.
It's not a good name.
It's my name in it, motherfucker. It's not a good name.
With a K, yo.
Well, that's like
You find a motherfucker with the
that's
head
like,
tell me
that's
to
like
do that
Steve
back.
over here. We gave him Tyreek. We said that Steve wasn't good.
Hey, Tommy, they hating on our names and shit.
Listen, let it rock.
All right, and I'm MG2_fit, man. Make sure y'all check us out, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Download, subscribe, and make sure y'all turn on the notifications. Let y'all know when we going live and all that. All right, thank y'all for tuning in. All right, first question.
That's a lot of questions.
Oh, okay. So Molly Funk,
Ooh, nice.
Molly
That's
Funk,
dope.
it
Got
is.
it first.
Ask, do men really think differently about a girl if she sleeps with them on the first date?
There we go.
That's a perfect question.
There the
Did
fuck
I
we
answer
go. Yo,
first?
Chris,
Yes,
Bobby
Bobby killed it. Perfect time, Bobby.
I don't want her to sleep with me on the first date. She should wait till the fifth date. We got you. What you want to do? Read books? No. If you say anything related to read books,
Nah.
Let him answer it.
I'm saying, yo. I'm trying. We gotta get some vices out of this guy. Yo. That's all I'm saying.
So why he can't have no
The
vices?
We
answer,
gotta have a vice, yo.
the
You don't have
answer
to.
is no. The answer
You
is
don't
no.
think differently.
We
than
do not think differently if it's sex on the first date
There we go.
for men.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now, what if she
You
suck your
don't.
balls on the
No.
first date, though?
You don't think.
What if she
differently-
suck
you
your
don't
balls
think
on the
differently if
first
it's
date?
sex on the first date. You
Yeah.
think differently if it's titties on the first DM.
But you don't know me in the
But
DM. Like, you know what I'm
You
saying?
don't know
Like,
niggas on the first
Hold
date.
on, but I feel like
I've been on dates with girls. I'm
at
like,
least,
Yeah, but
after
you
the
at
first
least
date,
had-
we done had 3 drinks.
But
you know
I
what
feel
we
like
talked
y'all
about your life.
communicated already. But
I know your favorite color and shit.
I
Like,
feel, yeah,
Hey,
I feel like
hold on.
get it in now.
This is what he said.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like at that point y'all already communicated.
Y'all
to
might
get
get
to the
months
date.
before the first date.
So
Get to the
sex
favorite
is-
color, all that
yeah,
bullshit.
so the sex will come, but as
You
far
watch
as the
Power, I watch
DM,
Power.
you have sex with her, and then you realize, all right, this is what the truth is. Maybe we don't think of it differently, right?
Right.
But
He
after
said
you
this
have
is-
sex with them, then you might realize, oh shit, I really didn't like that girl.
and that look, that's
Yeah,
true.
that happens.
No, that's true.
Yeah, so that's how
That
that
doesn't
usually
mean you have to
goes.
look at them differently, though.
Right.
No. They,
Vice
Brazil,
versa.
sad.
they don't, but they don't know the
They don't
difference.
know
though.
that.
They don't know the difference for you being like,
Hey yo,
She
we
shouldn't have sex
real
with me because it
quick,
was
be
the
quiet,
first
real quick. We don't want to see a single Denzel. My God, he is fucking everything. Everybody's getting dick. And you sitting taking pictures. You know what? I wish I knew we was younger. We'd probably get in there.
when I first bought this house, yo, that's what I was.
It's probably come all over these walls.
All over.
black light shit. Like,
He said, "What
This
am I
motherfucker
saying?"
get it in.
Did you buy this shit after you bought the house?
No, I bought it. Yeah, no.
Oh,
yeah,
it
I
bust
bought
all
it.
on this.
No,
It's on
this,
it.
this chair should be good.
That's not toothpaste.
he said this chair
Should be
Should be good. I don't know. All right, so you gave your answer. You're not
Yeah,
good.
so no.
What we say, Pan? What y'all say?
Oh, I say no. I mean, I wouldn't think of Shorty any differently. I mean, I feel like she has the same rights that we have. So
She wants sex
if
like
she
that?
want, if she wants sex just like I want sex, then fuck it, we won't have sex.
And don't get it twisted. Like, just because you the nigga, you can say, like, nah, I think we can wait.
Ah, good
Like,
job.
you can definitely be
Right.
that
Ooh,
nigga.
my bad.
Like,
You
know what
could
I mean?
be that
Like,
nigga.
I'm trying to get to
Yo.
know you more. If you and most of the times, if we take it down the first time, it's because let's be real, we probably don't give a fuck. Like,
That's
Yo, hold
that's
on,
one.
hold on,
And then
hold
two.
on.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Let me-
That move right there.
Oh, that gets some
Your
wetter.
second date?
Oh, they gonna suck your whole
They
ball.
know everything.
Sweetheart,
they trying to suck the bone marrow out. They trying to suck the bone marrow
Girl,
out.
you know this. Oh God. Girl, you know this motherfucker turned it down. What you say, Denzel? You said no. You don't judge him.
No,
It is what it is. We all humans.
But I do like that aspect though, from being able to actually say like, look, and then I mean, and even still, just even on the perspective of you turn it down just because you feel like maybe she's not ready and she just might be pushing it, or maybe you might not be ready and you be like, oh, shorty a little intimidating. You know what I mean? Shorty, a chick can intimidate. Yeah, a chick can intimidate.
They can. Some can. Yo.
Listen, there's a lot of
Some
niggas.
can.
Listen,
No, a chick if a chick is bad
Intimidating
enough,
how, yo?
if a chick
She's
is
so
just
bad
too
that
forward.
your dick not
Let me suck your dick right now. Let me suck your dick right now. Come on, let me suck it. You like, bitch.
Bruh.
We ain't even getting
don't act
yet.
like you never been caught off guard. By
Let me suck your dick right now.
Like, banging chick, you took her out of her
badass
bed,
chick, yo,
and she goes, "Hey, what you doing tonight?" "Oh, I'm just gonna go home." "Come over to the house."
I suck your dick.
Hey.
I understand the intimidating part. I've never been
I'm
intimidated.
30.
I'm not saying
I'm not saying intimidated.
I'll take the challenge. I'm just saying it was a little.
Like sometimes you know you're not on
Real quick.
your
Nobody's intimidated at 30 plus, yo.
Right,
Once you
that's
30
what I'm
plus,
saying.
if you still get intimidated, hang it up, yo.
Right.
Hang up, yo.
But yo, we got young niggas watching this podcast.
Yeah, we got niggas watching.
He might go on. He might yo. It might
Start
be his
now.
first.
Don't be intimidated.
Might be his first.
Right.
His first good paycheck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
His first good paycheck. He taking the shorty to Roof Chris. She might be 3 or 4 years older than
Roof
him.
Chris first day?
Listen. You know. Listen.
Shorty sucked him off.
Hey, yo,
We gonna have to put you on camera now.
Right.
Nah.
Hello, you're gonna Roof Chris over here.
I mean, it ain't tricky if you got it.
You have a
That's the point.
sexy ass Taco Bell dinner.
He said sexy ass Taco Bell dinner.
You ain't getting a second date?
Hey, if she's still fucking on the first night, well,
No, you
On the Gorditas.
With a Taco Bell?
With the Gorditas.
Nah, you don't want that in
My
her
stomach
system.
gonna
No, you don't want that.
So what you say?
We gotta go to the next question, yo. We good. I'm good with it, yo.
Cool. All right. So look, I feel like, all right, check this out.
What did you say?
I'm cool with it, but I'm gonna tell you why I'm not cool with it. This is happening to me. What about the sexual act? So not just fucking, but what if they extra freaky, like
She stuck a finger in your
like
butt
piss
on
on
the
me?
first day.
No, not me, but I had a girl. We was first date. We were on our way to the location. Now, mind you, like you were saying, it wasn't like I just met her that day. We been talking around, and she was talking about sucking my dick in the car.
Good.
Oh God.
Good.
My G. But listen. So now you're right. I might still like it, but I'm already putting you in the spotlight. This bitch, she's not just doing it to me.
Right.
My nigga, I'm 5'7" and
Yo,
kinda cute.
why? Hold on, first of all,
You just sucking my dick in the car?
Why
It's not even a nice car.
Why do we
Why you
feel
sucking my dick in the car?
Nah, yo.
You suck everybody's dick in the car. Now I don't want to kiss you.
Why can't she like you?
She do like me.
So she's
I never sucked my dick
If
in the car.
she sucked your dick in the car, that means she got some dick in the car in the first
He probably did. This nigga 6 foot, 200 pounds. She sucked this nigga dick too.
Yo,
Now I'm gonna kiss this nigga dick sucking lips.
See, look, but hold up. See,
You gonna kiss her lips. You gonna kiss her lips.
But look, so wait.
She gonna suck my dick.
But you eat all these girls' ass though.
No, not all of them. Not all of them. Episode 3. No. This came up. Episode 3. I remember episode 3 came
You
up.
remember that episode?
You gotta be
wild
at least
ass
like
episode.
2 years, and I gotta love you, and then I'm eat your ass.
You're lying.
Listen. All the girls I've ate their ass.
Not even a nice car.
I don't-
If you became single again, let's say tomorrow, right?
No.
Next thing you know, you're gonna want to see what the other asses taste
I'm
like.
trying to get
Oh,
too
God.
detailed. Oh
No,
my God, that sounds bad.
What
That
the other
sounds
ass tastes like?
I've only
Nah,
eaten,
bro.
listen, technically, to be 100% real, I've only eaten one ass in my whole life, and it's my wife. I'm sorry, this is
Good
embarrassing
answer.
for her.
Good
No, this
answer.
is the
Good
truth.
answer.
She's actually without the
Good
truth.
answer.
And what it was, and you talked about, this is kind of out of your book. You can only do goddamn 15 positions. You do 15 fucking times for 15. After a while, you gotta switch it up.
Right.
Yeah.
So, one day I was down there and I said, ooh, what's that? Not that bad. Okay, cool. So that's what that was. But I was eating ass. But back to the girl. I think we all cool with it. I think we all here.
Yeah,
It's like, okay,
we all
look.
cool.
But I'm going to tell you what can be somewhat intimidating. And what you were saying kind of put you in a certain box. If you give too much, it's like, damn, I'm almost thinking on psychological, are you damaged? Like, yo, I suck your dick right now and you bust in my mouth. I'm like, shorty, we didn't even get to favorite color yet.
Yo, I
You
want
got
her to
me
say
to
that
bust
to
in
me,
your
yo.
mouth?
I want her to say that to me, yo.
Well, that's cool. We different. But I can respect that. I can respect
If I
that.
can't,
I'm not judging you for that.
If I can't bust in her mouth, then I probably
First
feel
date,
the
though?
way that you feel about being
All
able
right,
to.
are you ready to wife it, or you already kind of like, yo,
Yo, what
this
is
smart.
that? What is this wifing thing, yo?
Meet your family, meet your brother,
How about this?
marry her possibly.
Okay, hold on. Let's be
That's on a first date.
Let's be no, but let's be. Let's we yo we.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's be 100%
All right,
honest.
go ahead.
Like just like most females when they see a nigga, they thinking, yo, could I have kids with him? Could I be with this nigga?
Right.
After a certain age, as a nigga, you think the same way.
Yeah, I'm
You look at her like, yo,
That's
if
a fact.
17-year-old,
I'm busting in the mouth.
if I'm shooting up, if I shoot up her club, she could be my baby mom.
Right.
Like,
guess what? Virgins.
you just don't give a fuck. It's alright.
No, that's not true. These girls that's virgins that's out here sucking everybody's dick. It's girls
They
that
won't
don't
let
have
anybody
it's-
penetrate.
and they don't
Oh,
want nobody
God.
fuck them. It's girls out here who they've been with one dude for 10 years and they fantasize about sucking every dick that they see walk across the fucking the street.
They
with
catching
them.
all
What's
the
their
first
first and last name? Right now.
That's crazy.
You see what I'm saying?
It's girls
And
out
then
here-
that was like,
You got exposed up.
Lord.
and then that was thinking like, I
It's
don't
girls
know.
out
What's
here
their
that-
hands?
It's like,
You
no,
said, what's their
they've been
hand?
fucking that wish somebody would wife them,
Right.
and then if they was to get wife, they'll go from this end of the earth to that end of the earth for
Right.
one dude and never look at another dude because they be like, I've been there, done
But-
that, seen all of that.
But between each
Dumb
and
shit.
the earth, they sucking everybody dick to get to the other end. That's the problem. They sucking dick in Utah.
Some
They
people-
sucking dick in
look.
Cali. They
Hey,
sucking
look,
dick in...
I say Shorty ain't become a pro unless she done sucked
I need
some
a
dick
pro,
before.
yo. I need a pro.
All right, so this is wrap it up so we don't go too far. We
already-
Molly, I
way
think we
too
answered
far,
the
yo.
question. We all pretty much don't give a fuck. We
really,
with it.
Nah,
we really not care.
You,
We just don't think about
Sherrod,
it
and
differently.
Steve.
No, I said fuck. I said
no, me and Marvin
no.
the only ones.
We give a little more of a fuck. But we don't, listen, I'm not going to judge
Yo,
you.
y'all want a girl that's great at sucking dick but has never sucked dick before?
No, I didn't say that. Who didn't say that? I'm just saying, can we eat dinner first? Can I maybe the second date? Like, listen, I have no problem calling my man. It's like, yo, I busted down. But then now it's like, I didn't got the whole Christmas gift. It's like, what am I looking for? Let's make it, come on, man. Because I probably got my side thing I'm fucking anyway.
basically
Oh my God.
Because I don't know you yet, so I want to cherish you. So I think we all good. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you, appreciate
Molly,
it.
fuck.
We don't look at females any
Before we
different.
go on, at 30, like you said, we all over 30 or whatnot. I feel like it's almost
I'm not. Fuck
expected.
y'all. Say.
Yes, thank you. yo.
No, it is
No, I mean the whole sexual contact is like
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So yeah, no,
You're good.
that's why
But Nick
my
would be
answer's no.
nervous, so he would say, "Let's wait till the second."
Yo, but we chilling, we driving like what you want to eat. You like, I want to suck your
we
dick.
not
I'm
going
like,
back.
You be nervous.
Look, we already.
I'm a look. First of all, am I clean to get my dick sucked? Maybe I went to the gym to get swole, and it's not dick sucking time.
Maybe.
It's a little stingy down there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got fresh wash up and you went on the date. Listen,
Did you
all right.
not wash up because you knew
Nah,
you
he just
nervous?
went
You
straight
didn't
from
out?
the gym to the
Listen,
date.
Listen, I lift. I went home, did a little bird bath, right? I didn't get my dick sucked in the car. Bird bath. I'm saying maybe. Listen, I'm just saying. I'm just
Bird
saying.
bath. She was
This
in
was
the gym
nervous
too.
people say, yo.
All right, listen.
Good.
No, I'm gonna take nervous.
I only had 20 minutes. I had somewhere I had to be. I had to go.
Yeah, listen, I don't know, y'all. It is someone I'm selling that.
You good,
And
yeah.
on the first date, you want to just suck my
It's gonna be-
dick.
it's gonna
Hold on, you don't want to fuck girls on the first date?
I want to do it all. I'm just
How's
saying.
that not unsettling?
Well, you can say how unfair it
I
is.
think
Look,
the
the topic is already ran past.
I think the timing matters.
We
And
already-
here's the last thing I'm gonna say about it. The timing matters. If she jumps in the whip, like you gonna pick her up at the crib, y'all riding, y'all having a little conversation, and she goes, "Yo, I want to suck your dick." You probably be like, "Oh shit." But if y'all go to dinner, the vibe is good,
Yeah.
y'all laughing.
Drunk and she whispered my ear.
She
I want to taste you.
she crushed a whole bottle of wine,
Yeah.
and she's like, Yo,
Let's get it.
Or like, let's say like Nick's a comedian.
Look,
And she goes to see
We're not
you on
doing
stage.
this.
You do your comedy thing. You get off stage. She wants to because she liked your performance that much. That's what sets you apart from Steve that never made her laugh one time since they got together.
We're going.
All right, so look, all right,
Next time.
topic done. All right,
Thank you, Ma. That was
Thank
a good
you,
one, though.
appreciate
That was a
it.
good one. Hopefully you got answers. You got answers. We all fuck with you.
Yeah. All right. So heat wave threatens what? What is that? What is that?
The heat is a heat wave. Right? I'll give you guys a story. This was on the BBC.
Heat wave caused a pin shortage. What?
Shortage of peas. So the heat wave.
What?
All right. It's a peas are a fruit, right?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were like urinate.
No.
What?
Like
You see
like
hydrate or
peas,
something?
like the little green peas.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Those motherfuckers are like. There's a shortage of them,
Right.
and
Because
so
of
the
the heat wave.
supply is down of peas because the heat wave fucked the whole.
Right.
Crops
Cropped
up.
up. Right.
So you want an opinion on it?
Yeah, what you think about it?
He's a vegetarian. What you think about it?
You a vegetarian too, yo?
He healthy too. Where you find this nigga? I don't know, yo. Everybody dig, nigga. He's the reborn Jesus. You don't smoke crack? You don't smoke crack. So how you feel about someone who enjoys vegetables being a shortage of peas? Hurry up on this hating ass nigga talking about you gonna live forever, you gonna bitch ass nigga.
Are you Jesus Christ?
Are you Jesus?
Yeah, that's funny as shit.
What you think about that?
I'm not big on peas.
So that's it.
That made it even
Alright, that was
worse.
simple. Real quick. Listen, what the fuck you think about it? Yo, this hater edition of this, man. This nigga said, we got five what's wrong with your ass.
Yo, I just seen that shit this morning. I was looking at the fucking my feed to see what the current events are. I'm like, how's that even a fucking thing that you were right about? So I'm like, I wonder if anybody thinks that's interesting.
I think it's interesting. It's important because if the peas are yeah, what's next?
How's
you know, what other crops are affected. So, I mean, even though I don't really mess with peas too much.
Peas is like the worst vegetable ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you put a little sugar, salt, pepper in that motherfucker. Who grandma
You put sugar on your peas?
It's a little teeny bit, yeah. A little butter, a little
No, I
teeny
can't.
sugar.
I can't.
It's not.
stand
You don't
peas,
taste the sugar. It's just a little bit.
I don't mind when they're mixing with other vegetables. I can't eat them like by themselves.
The only way I can eat is in a pot pie, y'all. That's it.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at
Yeah,
that.
in a pot pie, yeah. But other than that, like even if I get like,
So you don't give a fuck about
even
it.
if I get like
peas can
even if I get like shrimp fried rice and
Right, right.
peas in there, I'll still like straight the peas.
Yeah, when they mix with something else.
So you don't give a fuck about the peas.
You know he
No, I
eat
don't
peas
give
because
a fuck about
you Jamaican, right?
What does that have to do with anything?
No,
Yes,
it's
I eat
peas and
peas.
everything.
What the fuck I do with it? I do enjoy some. I do like peas.
I saw it.
I got a piece here. Yeah, check this out.
Yo, he was on there. He's probably looking that up like, hold on. How short is this?
Lord.
I don't give a fuck about peas, but I think on
He's on
a bigger level, it might be like, okay, so
Yeah.
what other
How does that affect
plant
the
or crops
environment
affect? Yeah,
or
like,
the
right.
ecosystem
Well,
itself?
I mean, we fucking changed how crops is like. If you look at, I was watching something the other day, and it was talking about how, you know, watermelon, 150 years ago looked completely different.
Right.
It's like now, yeah. Like it grew spirally, so there was less of the red flesh inside, and we just, you know, like. People talk about GMOs and all that stuff now. But we've been selectively breeding fruits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely everything.
For a very long time. So like they just take when they started getting more red flesh, they're like, oh, they opened it up and looked spirally. They threw that shit away. But the one that had more red flesh, they replanted those seeds till it started to look the way you want it to look. And I think we're smart that way, but we're still dumb because we fuck with the atmosphere.
Yeah, we fuck
So
with the
you know what I'm
ecosystem.
saying? So we fuck with the ecosystem. So things ain't gonna grow the same way. And I think now it's more out of the I think the adjustments are gonna be more out of necessity because you know what I'm saying, like you said, like the peas. We don't like peas. But somebody probably might. Somebody might.
I like them.
You said you love it. You like peas.
Yeah, I mean, listen. You was right. I grew up in a Jamaican household. Like, if you didn't eat this shit, you was something else. Of getting up and going somewhere else.
They
like,
didn't put the peas
if you
on
didn't eat this shit,
Right.
you was gonna starve. And not only was you gonna starve, but you was gonna sit there until the food disappeared.
Oh yeah, it could be late at night. You gotta go to school the next morning. Like you still gotta wake up for school the next day. And you be sitting there like,
yeah. And
Like,
you get
alright,
your
so-
ass beat if you don't eat.
I was getting ready to say either that or you get your ass beat. Like
So-
pick one. Either you eat it and you sit here, or you can sit here for the rest of the night, or you can get your ass beat for no reason. Like which one?
See, what did y'all do? I'm telling you what I did. I put the motherfucker in my pocket. I go to bed. I been taking an extra long shit. You get the dumb ass peas.
Alright.
Anyway, alright, so we don't give a fuck about peas. Fuck it.
Okay.
Next topic. What's the next topic?
Let me see your mouth.
Yeah.
All
I
that.
put in my ass cheek. Fuck
out of here.
I ain't eating them fucking peas.
Don't say
Hold on,
nothing
time
else
out.
about peas.
Did you say what? Hold on, we're not
Come
gonna
on,
say
no, we gonna
that.
pull you all up.
Listen,
Let's get back.
y'all sit at the table. I'm playing video games. That's what the fuck we doing.
Alright, so we're doing a study on pussy rate. When you hold up. When you what is that?
When you lost the weight?
When you lost the weight, how much did the pussy rate go up?
Ooh, this is a good question. 'Cause my man was floating on what, 3 something?
Yeah.
So was there any kind of correlation with you
385,
losing weight and then the options for vaginal insertion?
He don't want to have sex with him, so theoretically we speaking.
Tell that hate that nigga shut the fuck
Lord. Back to the peas, goddamn. Nah.
Did you notice as you got in shape, did you feel better, maybe exude some kind of confidence? Do you think your physical appearance attracted more of that, what you
How do you
wanted?
feel like that?
Anything like that?
Real shit, my inner circle was small, so I
Yeah.
really didn't have any, like I blocked the DMs as much as possible, so if it was some freaks or whatnot, like I would,
Yeah. You just try to stay
Really.
safe. You don't want to get STD.
Right.
All right, I got another question.
My man,
What's
Jesus
better?
Christ on the low.
The college graduate
Right.
business suit guy
Uh-huh.
pussy rate or the G-Ride shoot 'em up bang bang pussy rate?
The college graduate.
Shoot 'em up, bang bang.
The college graduate pussy rate is better than the shooting.
The type of woman you get.
Because the type of woman you
The type of
get.
woman.
So one is Lesbian Market
Right.
and one is Wegmans.
Oh,
You like that one? Like that? Like Wegmans?
No,
Did you like that?
No.
Did you like that?
That's an awesome analogy.
One got
Look.
rats.
Awesome.
One dollar.
That's
Nah, but yeah, because it's
One
different.
got a
type of
nice
woman.
ass buffet.
Yeah. Now you will meet some nice ones on the G rides, but however, it's always some sketchy shit. So it's like,
Yeah, she might be trying to set you up some shit.
What y'all think? You guys transformed your body, both of you.
I was just
Yeah, but it's kind of the same thing, right? Like going from the skinny guy to like, oh, he got muscles now. What y'all think? Yeah,
for me,
both.
it was like I got in better shape when I was in a relationship. Like what it could be if I was out here like wilding out, but when I got in a relationship, the shit went up just automatically.
Yeah, for whatever.
And did your partner maybe appreciate you more sexually? Did you feel like they spent more time like touching,
Oh, that's a good question.
Was it
So
like the quality of, and of course, was it, damn, she really enjoyed this shit tonight. What the fuck?
I can't tell if it was that or if it's just like over time that we become like where we understood each other so much where like she knows now when how to like go off of me like when I wanted or when things should be, but yeah, it's gotten a lot better. But I think that's like over time, like we seem to really be growing in the right direction together, rather than like, oh, we on this path and we just happen to be together. It's like
that's a mature that's a mature answer. Yeah, like
they've had.
That's a mature answer. Wait a minute, I didn't get that shit on peas.
For me, I would say, like I said, like Denzel, I'm on the same tip. I didn't necessarily get in shape until I was already in a relationship. And also on another spectrum, when you get into a relationship or when you get married, and that's when you start seeing other things come out of the woodwork. You're like, oh, let's pause. Like, wait a minute, where the fuck was you at 5 years ago when I was single? Shit, you know what I'm saying?
Sucking dick in a car, boy.
Taco Bell parking lot.
Yeah, while trying to avoid the peas.
That's what we call teamwork. Good job, everybody. Good job.
All right, but yeah, I mean, overall, from a physical aspect, I think that it probably would be just because I think that just to what society is now. Like with the overall physique and aesthetics, nowadays, especially because fitness is, growing more and more by the year. Like it's tripling and doubling by the year. So as that grows and you've already been a part of the game for so long, then automatically gonna get some of that. You're gonna automatically get some of that respect and and some of that attention and whatnot. So, and as far as like my spouse goes, with her, I guess per se, enjoying the body more. I would like to think so.
It's funny. So oddly, I didn't mean to cut you off. Oddly enough, I've had women tell me they've enjoyed the bigger me.
I've seen it. They call them teddy bears. What they call teddy bears?
It's like, I enjoyed you while you were big. Like you didn't have to lose weight, but I understand you did it for your health purposes. But they didn't have an issue with
the weight.
I
mean, you got some women who really like
big dudes.
Literally, they like that's all they date type stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
there's a certain confidence big dudes be having too, though.
Yeah, like big. Black and ugly as ever, big as hell, but he told hoes.
Yeah.
big niggas are always like, well, you gotta talk to, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be
a whole different swag.
Like when you brolic and you cut up, he's an asshole. Like you know she wants you. You a fat nigga, you ask her how her day was, you ask her what she been up to, what her interest is, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you gonna stop reciting Biggie lines. What the fuck what your interest is, who you be with, things that make you smile. This nigga does all like, what? Interest. He ain't fucking the line, goddammit. He's doing the big shit. He said it. Goddammit. Alright, real quick before we wrap it up. Yes, quality of sex has been much better in a relationship, and I have noticed even from like coworkers, how you been working out? It's even in business or like everyday life.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, when you like in shape, you feel like you're more confident, more assertive, they respect your opinion sometimes. Hey, you work out? So yeah, I think it is some kind of relationship with it, yes.
You secrete different pheromones. So no, I'm playing. It probably is true. Alright, so did you see Sierra? Hold up. Did you see Sierra do In My Feelings Challenge?
Yeah. Yes. No.
Bro, you gotta watch this shit.
Kiki.
You gotta kill that shit, yo.
Oh, where I got people.
Yo, there's another chick, yo, that
Dancing shorty. Yes. He don't know what the fuck he
Show me that. But Sierra one made me think, yo. I was like,
This one will make you
I'm
not
about to watch the goodies.
You know
This
what I've
will
been
make you
watching? I seen some midgets do it. Some
Little people, son. Damn it! Who are you counseling?
she was kind of cute and she got all this.
No, she had a
TV
fat
channel.
ass.
I was looking like, damn, what she little.
You ever been to a strip club with midgets?
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the end of the question? Was that the end of the question?
What?
Did
That
you
was
see
it.
the video?
Yeah, did you
Yeah,
see
that was
it?
it.
Steve, you see it?
Sierra?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My son Russell Wilson upgraded completely.
He did. He did.
Yeah, I can't do
And
that.
she changed him a little
Yeah,
bit.
she did.
You know?
She brought
She
more
brought
swag.
No, I wouldn't even say. I
Dancing
feel like he was playing like, you know how we code switch. You know what I'm saying? I feel Russell Wilson was always on his code switching.
I don't know, because this two-step looked real.
That's fine.
It wasn't bad.
That's
It
not-
wasn't that bad, yo.
It wasn't that bad, but
For him,
it shows
it was
me
him,
he's been stepping like that for a long part of
Yes,
his
he
life.
has.
Like he hasn't been two-stepping.
He has.
just learned that
But
like
you
2
see-
weeks
But
before.
you
Yeah,
see, she
yeah,
bring
but-
that out here. She bring
That's
that out
cool.
here.
That's
I
cool.
like that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. That's cool. It's culture.
I just hope his career is steady because every dude that Sierra's dated, like,
Sir, Bow Wow's doing great. Next time.
50 doing alright too. 50 doing alright
It took him a
too.
while to bounce back.
Bounce back from what?
What about
50 been good,
Shit,
yo.
after he stopped rapping, yo, it took him a while for his acting. After he stopped rapping, it took him a while for his acting and directing to actually step up to that next level.
Street shit.
All right. So anyway, so France won the World Cup. Thoughts?
I don't watch soccer, but that's good for them. That's my thought.
I don't watch soccer either. I care.
Frank's whole team was African. Let's just be real.
Yeah, that is
Oh, so what's it for?
Shout out.
Is Senegal won it? Was it the Congo won it?
Basically, it was Africa. Who
Hey, fuck France!
Oh shit! Let me tell y'all something. This is my own little spectrum.
I like France.
Because it's starting to make me wonder a little bit, especially if you're saying the black, the whole France team is black for the most part.
Right.
But to a certain degree, isn't most of like the winning teams and Olympians and stuff like that, aren't they black?
Not
Like,
necessarily.
A lot of them are.
Germany won last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying
And Germany was not black at all.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
Are you sure?
Oh no! Germany, yeah,
They have a history of being like,
duh.
But it just makes me wonder sometimes when these all black teams and especially the NFL stars and NBA stars is almost like, are we being bred to be?
Well, we definitely were bred.
Oh yeah, we definitely absolutely. That's not even a question. We were bred like we were animals.
That's true.
Oh, that's
true.
That's just Western civilization. Before that, we were already genetically superior.
That is
as
true.
people. That's the truth.
It's the truth. That's why.
Asians,
That's why they got us from Africa to be
Asians.
like.
So this is a good segue.
And not just Africans, now you got certain parts of the northern Vikings and shit. It's people around the world that do it. Okay. Before the America.
Are ready for this? Maybe we are genetically superior physically. Are we mentally as good? Are we inferior mentally as like
Asians right now are
to
number
Asians
one. I forgot the
and to,
name of the test, but right now.
Europeans?
I think our thing was we were never.
We was playing the catch up game.
No.
Are we inferior?
No.
I don't
to
believe
the Asians.
To the Asians, I
Some
believe
studies came out and
we
said it wasn't.
oppress ourselves and think we're inferior, but we have the ability to do anything.
I think
we beat ourselves up. I ain't even cut you off. See, I'm sorry. It's just like why you think that you can't do it? So math is hard. We all struggle.
Because of hating niggas
But
like
it's
this.
you know what?
When you trying to do better.
Actually, put your mind to it and say, okay, I want to learn calculus. Go fucking learn calculus. Like just because this little ling on the side, like she good at, you could be good at that shit. It may take you longer, but you could do it.
So let me tell you this: there's a study, like an IQ study that was done, of the different races, and they try to make it like a double blind study, so it's not just like, all right, well, these 10 people, you pick them from this city or this place, blah blah blah, and it shows that like there is a curve of IQ across races. Now, like let's say Jewish people may have a higher IQ than black people, but it's not by a lot, right? So it may not be a lot. So maybe their natural curve is like 120 and ours is 115. Well, theirs 115 and ours is 110. That's not a lot in terms of for the whole race, but in terms of for the top 1% of that race, the top 1% of black people is not nearly as high as the top 1% of, let's say, the Jewish race.
Right.
They also think it might be nurture, not nature. So not so much a genetic predisposition, but more of like how your culture operates. So if you know that your Jewish culture, you're not made for making 6'8", 275-pound, 2% body fat monsters, that you cannot win on that scale. So you kind of start, hey, listen, kids, we're Jewish, not we're not gonna fucking win a dunk contest. Get in those fucking books, get your Jazz sport book bag, get your fucking, you kind of know that, we don't have that.
But ain't nobody diverse like us when it comes to all that.
That is, we are the originals, sir.
We dominate intellectually.
But look, this is
You
the
think you
thing.
spend too much time dancing and that's why you can't.
But look, the reason why I said what I said was because you got to think that for 400 years of slavery, we went into that where well, not we went into it, but Kanye said it was a choice. It wasn't a choice, first and foremost, but nonetheless, you got to think that we were being suppressed from knowledge for 400 years.
Yeah.
So imagine if we would have still had that 400 years of getting knowledge, how far along we would be as of now.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like we would be way further ahead of the curve than even most civilizations, even still. You know what I mean? Even
shit would have been called Americana. I like that. It would have been Americana. We took over right now. I started that. We need T-shirts. Americana. There we go. We got a new entrepreneurship. Continue. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
But no, I feel like that if we would have had that extra 400 years of learning, being able to read and everything like that, oh man, it would been good. I think that as of right now, as our society looks at it, we would be, let's say, another 15, 20 years ahead of our time right now.
Yeah,
we probably would have been ahead of the game because look at us. Look at us be playing catch up. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
And we
if we would have had that, to begin with,
what? We got 15.
I got a question though. So, where we are as a people, African Americans and whatnot, a little segue off it. Where do we go from that? So we were oppressed 400 years, million years ago, or whatever.
How do we get to the next level?
So do we continue to dwell on the past, or do we move forward as a people? Do we help each other?
I'm gonna kiss
you got the perfect job because you are teaching the young ones as of right now.
And that's exactly why I wanted to
platforms like this, bringing people like you on these shows.
That's why
my man last week who was a NASA electrical engineer, showing them that no matter what the media shows you, what none of hip hop shows you. There are people out there, regular day Americans, who are doing what they got to do in spite of their humble beginnings.
Right.
And I think because listen, we're not no big budget show. We don't have this big platform yet. But even still, we're showing for the few people that are watching and listening all over the world. There are people out here like yourself, like the other previous guests, that are doing good work. Right. Despite of what the hand they was dealt. So
exactly.
I think more of that on a large scale, and not complaining about what we given, but what we going to get or what we taking.
But I also want y'all to know, like, it's not all peaches and cream. Like, I am human.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So my checking account hurt too. My savings account hurt too. Just like everybody else.
How you spending your money though?
Ridiculous.
Peas.
right. That I don't eat, so I'm wasting my money.
No, he couldn't buy peas, so he had to settle for the green beans.
Green beans. Look, the store brand too.
Right, I understand.
Right.
All right, so best meal you know how to make.
Ooh, we got some cookers in the house.
I think
one of y'all did. I mean, him out here.
Best meal?
Steve put that in there. He hungry?
Yeah, he did that.
No, I put that in there.
It's an old question.
If you ask me,
if
you ask me for my best meal, then you know what I'm saying?
I already know what it is.
What is it?
Let's all go. I was like, stereotypical Jamaican. Some motherfucking best tail, some oxtail, some roti. Or is that Trinity?
That's Trinity. That's Trinity.
These rock with it.
I might have my Jamaican food, but my go-to meal, if I'm trying to, and I'm glad they can't see my face so they won't know, but if I'm trying to bag a lady, I do lamb chops, herb couscous, and
he's fucking all his DM chicks. I think say he wants some couscous,
some lamb chops.
The original
Buffalo Soul. Nothing else outside.
Can we leave it at that?
No, I can cook. No, fuck y'all. I can cook. You can cook too. Bitch, you can cook. I can see your goddamn story. Stop playing yourself under the table. You have us organic bacon. We got organic bacon. Where the fuck they sell organic bacon at? He got it. Come on, tell us some of the food you cook. Tell us some shit. He gave me food. I'm like, organic. Yo, your story's lit.
Just make everything up as I go, yo.
Right.
So give us an example of it.
I got no clue what that could be.
What's one of your best meals?
If you had to leave right now, we done, and you gonna make a meal, what's it gonna be?
Right now, I'm cooking on the grill, yo.
today?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm saying.
That's that greedy shit right there.
Today?
Yeah,
My
So
nigga,
for real?
I'm gonna try to, you know what I mean? I'm gonna cook some ribs. I'm gonna try to get the smoke rings in.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's hot.
So let it low and slow. But that's
Low and
that's,
slow.
that's nothing special. You know what I mean? Like Steve
it
said.
is.
So nothing I say is
What's
gonna.
wrong with that couscous?
All
That goddamn-
y'all niggas got relationships. I said that's how kind of reel them in. Like that's when I throw.
So
that
they
out
coming
there.
to your house.
He really got oodles and noodles on the side.
But he got the hot dogs and shit. With the eggs and shit.
But then he like, Shorty coming in like, let me bring out the deep.
Absolutely, I don't eat like that shit all the time. Come on.
Hey, you say what you say, Sherrod? What you got, yo?
What you got?
My best meal. Yo, probably some fried chicken, yo.
Ooh,
I bought it deep fried a couple years ago. Back when I was eating meat.
Yeah.
Back when he was eating meat.
Back when I was eating.
All right.
what about now?
All right, Jesus.
What you
Yeah,
doing
something's a
vegetarian?
vegetarian meal. Something that
you like
that
sand
eat
in a
meat
cup or
would
something?
also not eating.
Veggie lasagna is actually really
Ooh.
dope.
What's in it? Vegetables, I assume.
Yeah, vegetable. You got spinach, portobello
Sounds
mushroom,
disgusting.
zucchini,
Okay.
No, mushrooms can be
and squash.
It's
So
not vegan, so you got real
so
cheese.
you could do fat-free cheese.
Okay.
Hold on, fat-free cheese that makes it vegan cheese?
No.
No, it's not vegan.
But it's a healthy option.
But it's a healthy option. And then you just do the regular lasagna noodles and whatever marinara sauce you want to use, and you just layer it.
I would eat that. I could
So
eat
you
that.
do
eat
it.
that.
You do
Portobello mushrooms is gonna give you that meaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's actually dope. So veggie lasagna.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go to the
I
next
gotta
question, yo. But
I gotta toss up. So mine would either be my spaghetti. Spaghetti's off the hook. That was actually taught to me by
Do you
my
mix
sister.
your sauce and the noodles, or you do them separate?
No, I do them separate.
Okay.
you use
They said mix it, nigga. You a spaghetti
Huh?
RD.
use ragu.
Do I use ragu?
Ragu, prego.
Sometimes.
You can season up some ragu if
Yo,
you
none
want.
of y'all can say y'all got the best spaghetti if you're not making it from fresh tomatoes.
You right.
You right.
See? Why the fuck you ain't saying that for your man?
What though? I tell you what.
I just hot dogs and
Spaghetti
grill.
is mine. Whether it's fresh tomatoes or not, son, you're gonna have a problem.
Let's do it.
Period.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
You're gonna have a problem.
So spaghetti for you.
And then hold up, but I do like to do turkey chops on the grill with jasmine rice and asparagus.
Oh shit! I thought you were being paid
Oh,
jasmine
God.
rice and asparagus.
Yeah, jasmine rice is
That's
the
what's
shit.
up. Yes, sir.
All right, next question.
Homemade
Did we
lasagna.
let Nick?
No, y'all don't care about me. This is good.
Go
I
ahead.
talk shit.
Nick,
What you cooking, yo? What you
Homemade
cooking?
lasagna. Actually, my wife, I'm gonna shout her out. She's like, yo, he shot the wife out. She makes a really good homemade lasagna.
We're not asking what she cooks though.
Yeah, what do you cook?
Steak on the grill. I like a ribeye.
Ribeye is
That's
shit.
nice and nice.
He
A lot
want
of
those
marble on
deep
it, so
pasta.
the high heat.
Yeah,
You can sear it, but it still stays juicy.
a select choice
Maybe some corn and
from
cob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, corn and cob, ribeye,
Corn in the cob, man.
and some peas. Say some peas. Some sauteed
Peas and corn go together, yo.
All right,
All right, let's run through them.
all right, run through them. Okay, do you think if you tried just as hard, just
No,
as
that's from
hard
last week.
at it, you could have become a formidable gangster rapper?
No, that's from last week.
From last week?
Yeah.
I could have been a gangster rapper. I used to write some bars back in the day.
Well, nowadays, you
never
can
be
be live.
a rapper, yo.
Yeah, now if I did, I would be
Rapper,
lying. But
yeah.
back then, I might have been all right. All right. So, will NFL players receive the grievance they requested for protesting the national anthem?
No.
I know they're fighting for it right now.
No.
You heard about that? They're fighting for it.
They should, but they won't.
Yeah,
They should, but they will not.
So what are they trying to get?
Basically, it's a.
They want to be able to do it.
Yeah,
Free
that
speech,
that's
okay.
speech and all that.
All right. So all right.
free speech.
What is it helping if we protest the national anthem right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know why we were doing it. When
No,
we
they're
were
not
doing
protesting the national anthem. They're protesting the rule that the NFL said that you cannot
it,
do.
but they should absolutely just kneel. They should kneel. They should fucking kneel. That's the reality. If there's a rule where you can't do something and you know it's unconstitutional to make you do that, then you have to do that. And that's what made Muhammad Ali so great. But at the same time, the question is, aside from that, why continue that protest? Like, that's last year's protest. Like, we got to have the next.
What shouldn't be the last year's protest? That's the problem. I think with the media thing, it's almost like, all right, what's the next big thing?
No.
We ain't finished the last thing.
How?
Yeah.
Clint still ain't got no
How?
fucking water.
Yeah.
Why we gotta move on to another state?
Yo,
Yeah.
Clint still
Colin,
fucked up.
Colin Kaepernick can't.
Still-
Colin
he's
Kaepernick
still
not in
not
the
in
NFL,
No,
bro.
that,
Neither is Eric Reed.
how about this? Arguably, okay, there's always gonna be a martyr. There's always gonna be a martyr in these things, yo. So like Muhammad Ali had to go to jail. You know what I mean for what he believed in. Mahatma Gandhi, look at the life he had to lead. Jesus Christ died on the fucking cross for that. So it's always gonna be a martyr. However, we by doing that, we as in because I wasn't involved in it, but they by protesting that, they drew the most viewership, the most like the everybody knows about that protest now. Right. Whether you feel hot or cold about it, they did it so that people would pay attention to what's going on, and that'll happen. So we need the next version of that. Not we keep doing that, people just be like, oh, that's just them doing that again.
But hold on, what kind of reform was put in place as far as like actual law to like is it a federal law that's passed that all the police departments have to have web cameras on it?
I think reform
or is it still state by state?
Yeah,
because that's something I would do. Like, okay, well, see, I think they're looking for like national federal law, not just like we sorry.
Cameras don't mean shit.
Well, it doesn't mean shit, but if you're looking on step by step, if you're looking, okay, first of all,
we gotta take necessary
if you're a cop and you're a dirty cop, it's your word against some fucking whoever you're gonna write up in the report.
How many people have gotten off?
How
many people have gotten off and they have cameras? Though?
So reform
a lot, but then you gotta look at the folks that don't have any kind of documentation. So we're trying to say, you're saying right now, okay, well, it doesn't matter because some people get off on the camera. We're saying, well, let's at least get cameras from everybody. So then now we can have a constant version right there. And then go.
But what is your idea of reform, right? Is reform...
You take whatever steps you can necessary to get to the top part until there's an actual difference.
Y'all don't think that's happening?
No, I don't think that's happening at all.
We not watching.
You still get scared, but don't you still?
I don't like to get pulled over by cops, but that's what.
Yo, it was just a video. It was just a video the other day. A police officer walked up to the car with his gun drawn, and dude is zapping on the.
I saw him. He's like, "Yo, why the fuck you got your gun? I'm trying to get back to my kids." He's like, "I'm sorry."
He's like, "I got 3 kids to go home to."
That's not good. I'm not saying that that's good. I'm not saying that this is right or it's perfect. I'm saying this as far as. When I'm talking about this, we gotta understand I'm talking about the idea of what we think reform is, right? Mm-hmm. When our parents were our age, things were a lot different than they are right now.
Absolutely.
When our kids are gonna be 30, you know what I'm saying? When they grow up, things are gonna be a lot different. Like when Marvin's daughter is our age, things are gonna be a lot different than they are now. In a good way, I presume. I think that's reform. I think reform happens a lot over a lot longer period of time than we expect. We want it to happen tomorrow. Like we want to wake up tomorrow and just be like, all cops are good. All black people don't kill each other, you know what I mean, over gang violence. All fucking white people not racist. Right. All fucking, Mexicans is not in the cartel. Like we can't, that's not gonna happen.
What's the incentive for change if no one's trying to change it? So you said, hey, that kneeling shit during the anthem, that's kind of last. You should listen to some new shit.
No.
That's how you lose it.
No, I don't think so. I think
you don't just do like one march and be like, all right, we good. They got the message.
You remember being like 10 years old and it being like the coolest thing in the world to call somebody a faggot or call somebody gay.
I know it was socially acceptable.
And now it's not acceptable at all.
Right. Is that a good thing or bad thing?
It's a long-term reform.
It's a long-term reform.
It's long-term. We're talking about over 20 years.
How many people had to lose their job, had to lose their money, had to lose their place in society? It wasn't like one person did it and it was done, or somebody kneeled. People had to be like reprimanded over and over again, and then have the ability to do so. Imagine someone saying, "Hey, you can't do that no more. You can't complain about that no more." That's what's going on with the NFL. People saying, "Hey, look, I want to use my platform that people are watching me to protest what I don't like." And you saying, "No, you can't do that no more. Play ball."
If you look into the NFL to be the marker for whether we have been reforming this system or not,
no, it's not the NFL.
If you look in there, you're looking at the micro instead of the macro. The bigger picture is how many white social justice warriors are like aiding black people now versus 30 years ago. It's probably 1,000 times more.
How do you think it came to their attention? Emmett Till.
Then it worked. Then the thing worked. And then also, how many black social justice warriors are there right now versus 10 years ago? When that wasn't even a term and we didn't know any of these people. Now they are celebrities because the work they're doing is becoming well known. It's important and it is happening, but you can't keep doing the same trick and calling that like the thing. It's got to be moving forward.
Right. But look, this is the thing though. You can't let off the gas though. And that's all. That's why I agree from the perspective of if that's the way that they're going to protest, because the NFL, that's the way they want to protest, and they decide that that's how they want to file that grievance because they feel like that's the way that they want to do it, because they can't really do but so much, especially because of the simple fact of, first of all, what they did to Colin Kaepernick, second of all, because what they can do to us socially or whatever the case may be. So they have their way that they're trying to make sure that their voice is being heard. So that's why they're like, you're trying to take that voice away from us because we can only say but so much in a press conference. We can only say but so much outside of here because they're under contracts. Right. You know what I mean? They're special. Like if they get caught riding on a motorcycle, bro, they lose their whole contract. Stuff like that. So you gotta understand that it's
can't play basketball in the offseason.
Exactly. So it's
like
it's a progression.
They're working for these companies, and they come up with like my job won't allow me to show my tattoos during work hours. I mean, my job probably would not like it if I was fraternizing with the people that I'm working for, right? They don't want so that's just part of the job. So some of this
but
is
those
like
are parallels though. We're
right,
talking about social justice.
Yeah,
We're talking about like
the same token. It's going to be a progression. It's going to be a progression, but nonetheless, if you let off the gas, if you start pumping on the brakes because of a different way that you should be taking, then obviously it's going to take away from you putting on that pressure. And that's what you don't want to alleviate is the pressure. Like, all right, it may take 10, 15 years for it to happen. But you're not gonna stop me from protesting the way that I can voice my opinion.
You think the commissioner of the NFL is racist?
No, he's dumb.
So he's probably not racist. The reality of it is,
some people aren't racist.
They're just dumb. He's just
probably
dumb.
not racist.
Right. So it's probably not racist, but his main goal is to make sure that the NFL is a profitable business, and the profits go up year by year. He's thinking first and foremost about the profits went down last year. The profits went down.
Not as bad as they said it did.
Not as bad.
But their profit margins probably didn't from let's say from 2016 to 17 it went up this much. Let's say 5%. 2017 to 18 it probably didn't go up 5%. Maybe it went up 3%. And he's saying if this continues to happen, what will the NFL be?
That's his prerogative.
It's everybody's prerogative.
No, I'm not making any money off of that. I'm not making a shithole he's doing. I'm looking at my people down the street.
Let me finish.
And I have one opportunity to be like, yo, this is some bullshit.
And then tell me what you think.
Yes, sir.
If that's his goal, and they want to make the rule number one to just so that the NFL stays profitable, that's why he's doing that. But we also want the NFL to continue to be profitable too.
I don't, but I don't want
We should because it makes a lot. How many ways are young black men becoming millionaires by the age of 20?
Yeah, but I don't listen.
Like Sherrod said earlier, we don't need fucking.
We don't
NFL.
need. We need more of these.
We don't need the NFL.
We need more of these.
We don't need.
Yeah. We need more of the engineers. We need more of the counselors.
Twisted. We need it all. We need Terrell Owens.
I mean, it gives us a sense of hope, but
we need Colin Kaepernick. We need it all.
We don't need everybody looking at that particular statue as a means of becoming that way. I mean, because you have several other people. You take people who have the darkest past. Taraji P. Henson. You have all these other actors and musicians and you have engineers and you have people who do different things. So we don't want to necessarily being an NFL player, NBA player, a soccer player. Those are great. Yeah, they can become millionaires really quickly just because they have because they have a specific talent and they work hard. But they can do that with any other thing on the spectrum, and that's what we need to make sure that we illuminate.
With a longer shelf life.
Rap is an avenue where there's a lot of shaky shit going on. You know what I'm saying? With rap, but it allows Meek Mill to buy fucking tennis shoes for all the kids going to school.
Meek Mill's like $1 in a million.
No, bro. We talking about. All right, so let's talk about white millionaires in this percentage-wise, based on black millionaires.
It's a whole nother conversation.
It's not even close.
That is a whole nother conversation.
You need money
in
order to change the performance.
Their money
so if you want to slow up your
long and old.
If we want to fuck up,
because
if we want to fuck up this one, if we want to, and I'm not saying I like the NFL. I don't give a fuck about the NFL. I'm talking about black millionaires because Jay-Z. He can't get motherfuckers to join Tidal over Spotify right now. But if he had 10 Jay-Z's, that he could, but we don't got 10 Jay-Z's. Right. We need 10 fucking Jay-Z's. So if we change our mindset like Sherrod has,
that's not rappers.
If we change our mindset like Sherrod has, right? You know what I'm saying? And you take 10 people with his mindset you can't do as much making 100,000 as you can if you had 10 niggas in the NFL that could band together and take their money and do that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So you need that. We can't turn it around.
Right, so we're not taking that away from. It's just a simple fact that we don't want that to be the only platform to be able to use.
Exactly.
Like,
By them kneeling, how is it hurting the game? Football players. Who loves football? Everybody loves football. For that 3-minute song, them saying, okay, instead of me just sitting there and doing what the status quo says, I want to say, okay, hopefully I'm going to do something. Throw a wink to the camera. In this case, is a knee to make you not only think about this moment, but that, and then I go right back to playing. It's not like every time I catch, I think of Neil, and I say, or every time I catch, I do like a, don't shoot me. It's that 1 3 minutes. So now this it's hurting the people who don't want to hear it. The people who can't identify with what we're going through.
A lot of white people
who don't feel that way.
Not want to watch the sport anymore.
But that's on them. But
So,
we're not worried about them. We're talking about our injustice.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about them. Now I don't want to like, you know, be violent towards them or be rude to them. Right. But if I got a 3-minute window in which a 7 to maybe 8 year lifespan ahead, I'm not worried about me kneeling and you get mad. We fucking niggas kneeling again. I don't give a shit. Fuck y'all. You don't want to watch? I'm still getting paid.
In the NFL, what is the percentage of people employed by the NFL that are fucking black?
I don't know that.
So it's like, fucking us up. If it's like 75% of us working for
so us making less money or us bringing light to injustice and people getting killed. I'll take a few less million.
How about this?
Like Kaplan, they said, I don't need this money if I'm bringing my people up.
How about this thought process? Sometimes you gotta work with a motherfucker at your job and you don't like that motherfucker. What you gonna do? Fucking ruin your job and quit and just go home sit on your couch? So because this motherfucker's mean to you? No, fuck that shit.
That's not the same parallel. You talking about him being mean to me versus people getting shot in the street.
Hear me out.
I can take him being mean to
NFL
you.
is not shooting people in the street. If there's the white people that don't want to watch the NFL because of the kneeling, right? We could take this thing, fuck those people, right? Or we could take this thing like most people do. Like if a dude's dating a girl they don't really like, and they be like, I don't really like this girl, but I'm hanging out with her because I like this.
That's a false parallel. It's not about liking a girl.
I'm not going to false parallel it.
We're talking about, you driving, chilling, and getting shot in the car for being black.
Let me bring it home. If these white motherfuckers that don't want to watch the NFL because we kneeling, if they say, well, you know, blah, 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 we can't, take their fucking money. Let them keep buying $100 tickets every week. Let them keep fucking making the revenue process going up, making more and more black millionaires. And then we got to turn around to each other and say, all right, what we going to do with this now?
You saying stop protesting? Are we saying continue protesting?
What did I say stop protesting? I said we got to change the protest.
Keep protesting.
So don't kneel.
Keep protesting, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And why do we got to change the protest? Because it's going to get less sales.
Not because of less sales, but you got to think, we can pretend that everything is just black and white, but it's not.
It's not.
It's a lot of gray. So the gray is, do we want more black millionaires or not? We do. We want to keep the black millionaires. We also want to keep making more money. We also want to get more people to see what's going on. If the viewership's going down and the internet dies, and the NFL dies, then we keep kneeling and nobody's watching anyway. So we gotta change the shit.
I feel like that's a false narrative to begin with.
I feel like it's a false parallel.
So you didn't see that this year the NFL's going down?
No.
I don't give a shit when it comes to the prosperity of people.
Listen, every year.
I feel like it's going down because of the playing has got
and the majority they don't like the fact that they see people who they can't identify with doing shit they don't agree with. A lot of times you may say like, it's not that bad for them. They got it's like, dude, listen, okay, I'm not gonna shit on my coworkers. But I have coworkers sometimes when these shits come across CNN and some of the shit you hear, you be like, and now you the only 2 black people. You like, yo,
this is what we look.
Are you serious?
But you don't quit your job because you work for some fucked up niggas.
No, listen. But I protest right now. I say I don't give a fuck about the owners. If you gotta go fight in court now to have your right to protest for that 3 minutes on that, do it. I don't even watch football, but if I did, I wouldn't care. If it was an Asian dude that said, hey, look, Asian Americans in this country are disproportionately treated, I'd be like, you know what? First of all, I didn't know that. Let me go research it. Right. Dude, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, now, if every play you go, it's like, okay, nigga, now the game is 45 minutes, it's 3 hours because you bowing on every fucking play. That was getting ridiculous. But if you're going to kneel for 3 minutes and say, hey, listen, the reason I'm not even doing this. I'm not doing like, fuck America. I'm saying, hey, y'all fucking with us. We should be able to talk about
what we doing right now.
Go ahead. I would like to see us do more. Black people do more. So I feel
it should stop with the knee.
I feel the protest. No. But outside of the protest, what marches are we organizing? What communities are
I feel that's what Kaepernick is doing.
What
Charities
communities
is
are we
going
going to see? I don't see.
over in Africa.
You know,
I
a lot of people say they want to do things behind closed doors. They don't want a lot of people to know. However, this is one of the times that you're supposed to use your stage, get as much publicity as possible in these communities.
Right.
So if you're protesting, if you're fucking up the game, and a lot of people that watch the NFL is giving the ratings all these millions of dollars, okay, use it in a positive way and say, we're going to go to Flint. You mentioned Flint. We're going to go to the Bronx. We're going to go to Manhattan.
Kaepernick has been doing
We're going to go to Baltimore.
Kaepernick's been doing that.
Change some shit. You know,
It seemed like he's been doing it. I don't know.
No, he has.
Yeah, he has just kneel. He's like, okay,
but
you see I'm kneeling now. Watch this.
He cannot be the only one.
But should he not be able to
Do we
kneel?
want more black millionaires? Absolutely. As long as you give it back. And it's kind of fucked up. You got to say that. You got to say, this is what you got to do with your money. However, if you got $100 million and you just sitting on your own land, like, it's cool, but the world is hurting, you know? Like,
Right, exactly.
Black people are
that's
hurting.
why I was going to piggyback off of him, because it's like, yo, we want to see, we would love to see our black people continue to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Continue to succeed. But if you're giving this platform and you're giving all this money, and Colin Kaepernick was the first one to really say something about it and to really show something, then you have all these millions. But bro, what are you doing to show that you really care about where you come from?
Like,
you're giving millions, you stay quiet, or let's say you're giving a couple $100,000, but you can speak freely about
But
it.
that's the argument. That's the argument about like the difference between LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
But then we also saying,
Like,
do you want everybody to be like LeBron James, Michael Jordan? If you're
No,
black,
you don't.
you shouldn't feel like you.
But I'm saying that's the argument. But that's the argument and the difference,
And
because
again,
Michael Jordan, he never publicly talked about certain things.
He was the O.J. Simpson.
But Michael Jordan
O.J.
was donating money behind the scenes. He's putting kids through college.
Yeah.
But he was never vocal about it because he was always concerned about, I have fans who, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't want to offend anybody.
Right.
But LeBron don't give a shit.
And
You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron is out here on Front Street talking like, LeBron is going at the, like, you understand that LeBron James, the most powerful athlete in the world, went at Donald Trump's head.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't chilling. He came for his head.
I mean,
And now the NFL trying to say you can't do
yeah,
that.
and then even the still, I mean, even what was it Philly? Like they turned down the whole invitation. No, we're not coming to the president's house.
Yeah,
until some shit starts changing.
So two things gotta happen, you know. This is,
And then we got.
and this is my opinion. So we can say that my opinion is some shit.
No, that's not.
No, it's your opinion.
It's
But
not
like
discourse.
we can have this conversation, right? And like I'm listening to Steve, I'm listening to you. I hope y'all listening to me. We all are like mixing it up. If we can't reach across the other side,
I'm cool with that too. I'm 100% cool. But you can't tell me to shut up though, cause of profit shares.
But you also can't talk at people, yo.
I'm not talking. I'm kneeling. I'm not even talking. I'm going like this. I'm being a real calm house nigga. I'm going like this.
Nah, yo.
Get your ass up!
We talking about like the.
No, he's talking about like how to cross that barrier and actually.
Oh, but the question was about. What was the question about? It was the NFL passing this rule.
The question is moving
What?
on, yo.
Yeah, we did already.
I can't force.
So now, right now, players are going against the NFL in court saying, "Hey, you don't have the right to tell us that we can't play."
I'm all for that, but I do feel like. What we gonna do? 10 years of that shit? No, I'm thinking there's another thing that's the next step. That's all I'm saying.
I believe there should be another level,
shit.
but I feel like they can't stop. They can't take their foot off of the gas of the one that they already got.
Right.
Like don't put the foot on the gas pedal and the brake pedal at the same time.
Right.
Like keep your foot on the gas pedal until you find the next gear to shift into.
I don't know.
We have to constantly evolve. What you saying? We have to constantly evolve.
We gotta evolve, yo. I think if you continue to do that, all we're doing is making more and more than being like, I don't fucking like this. I don't fucking like that.
Or what if somebody
it's
says,
like,
you know what,
alright, well, how about we talk to him? Like, how we talk to him? We gotta talk to people.
They gotta be willing to talk. They gotta say, okay, what are you kneeling for? Let me re-listen to you. What are you kneeling for? And then I explain to you.
Right.
Discussion.
All right, so let's reel it back on.
We gotta have one more. We got time for one more.
How likely are you to go skydiving?
All right, I want to go. I'm afraid of heights, but I really want to go. So how likely? Out of 10, I'm like an 8.5. I really want to go. I might go this year. I might go this year.
Not fuck with it.
And I'm afraid of heights, bro.
And I ain't fucking with it. I did bungee jumping.
Nah.
Oh, I had tried that.
In fact, Brandon, we went to
Page.
Oh, he didn't go.
He lost the game.
He was there. We went to Six Flags. And it was that shit they connecting
like
your
the arch.
body.
Yeah.
Arch, yeah.
That was
yeah,
alright.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, skydiving, nah.
Is that?
I'm like, wait till I'm old, so if I die,
I had to
I
keep my feet on the ground.
Yeah.
You say what?
I would have to keep my feet on the ground. Yeah.
I'm an adrenaline junkie. Yeah.
Nah,
I'm gonna throw me off the plane.
I'm
You
gonna
would
do
do
it once.
Yeah, throw me off the plane. Throw the parachute first so I can
Oh!
hit that motherfucker. You know,
you
you
probably
want
fucked
to do that
with
too.
Triple X. You probably had sex doing shit too. With,
I would.
shit.
That sounds fun. But yeah, I would definitely do skydiving. I also want to do the what's that shit? Where you do like the cliff diving with the little squirrel suit
Get the
shit.
fuck out of
Oh,
here.
God.
You know what I mean?
Now that look
If
kind
that
of
many people die doing
I
that.
see some video they go splat. You
Yeah.
like God, it
I think
look
it's
fun
like,
though.
it's like 50% of people do that.
Oh, God.
Die.
Yeah,
He said not my 50.
I mean, whether you die,
It's called base jumping, right?
Base jump.
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it is.
It looked fun, bro, but I need
Yeah,
force
I
feed
mean,
or
I-
something. I'm too late.
I need a force field.
I don't want to say because me, I guess for me being, I want to say as free spirited and open minded as I possibly can be. That I don't want to feel like there's literally like a list I'm actually trying to work on putting together, like of 101 things that, you know, I possibly couldn't imagine that I could do in my lifetime that I really want to get a chance to do. Because I want to say that at the end of my life, yo, by 75, 80 years old, I can look back like, yo, damn, I did a lot of shit, bro.
Yeah.
I done did some shit, and I can have, and I can
Tell
literally
us 3 things.
3 things.
Yeah.
One, I wanted,
Fuck it, bro.
that's just me. That's just
Is
about
that
myself.
just a fact check?
Is that well, one is base jumping or skydiving.
Yeah.
Another one is actually to go into a cage with a white shark. Well, not into.
Yes.
I want to do that shit.
I would
down
do that.
Cape
I would
Cod.
do that.
Oh,
That's one.
no, hard.
It was scared shit out of me, but I would do
Yeah,
that.
and then
I just want to see that shit like.
And then it's this cave in Mexico where you like literally jump down into this hole, but there's like a
It's a sinkhole.
it's,
I did that. I did
it's
that.
kind of like a sinkhole type
It's a
shit.
cave
but
in Thailand
it's
I
a
want to
sinkhole.
go to.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like yo, it's a lot of things.
That's
like,
I
yo,
did. That's why they say shit.
there's a fucking there's like the world's tallest I can't even remember the name of the shit now that I got my brain
Woman?
going. Huh? No, like you know what?
You want to knock down a tall woman?
No, wife watching you better watch it.
Oh,
No.
shit.
But they have this it's one of them, I can't even say it, but it's in China. It's like, and it looks out over top of like over top of like the China Wall and everything like that. Like it's high as shit. Pretty much just see through glass and shit like that.
I've seen it and it cracks. You got the digital one that cracks.
Yeah, there's that one, and then there's another.
No, I'm
one
good.
too.
That's a lot of hot shit.
No, couldn't do it.
I'm cool with it. I'll probably do it later. I'll probably do skydiving.
Oh, shit.
I'm a skydiving, great white cage, but I don't want to just do it anywhere. I want to go to South Africa.
Exactly. You gotta go to South.
Where,
you can't
where,
do it. Where they
South
do the
Africa,
breach.
where they're not bitch ass great whites.
I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
I want to go to the real green.
I want to see the
Real green.
breach. I want to see like the
Yes,
seal
yeah.
that-
I want to see that nigga hit
I
a
want to see.
seal.
Yeah, I want to see that shit.
I want to see that nigga eyes like,
That
oh
shit's scary
shit.
as fuck.
You gotta get them hugs for they leagues. They ain't coming back.
They call your sister.
Hey,
bro.
look,
they
they
fucking like yo.
your
That
ass.
nigga lived, yo.
Oh,
Nigga lived his life.
Man, he went out hard.
Listen, if once a nigga bite me, it ain't gonna be long.
You know, it's gonna be real
Like,
quick.
you gonna bleed to death real
It's gonna be,
quick.
your feet gonna be floating on motherfucking warriors.
Yankee fitted.
That's it.
Yankee
It just
Niggas like, oh.
No, let's see if we got anything else real quick. But how much time?
If
pretty much
we
done.
do that, it's gotta be 2 minutes.
This is our last one. Last question.
Alright.
Oh, that's engineering.
Hold on. I got one for you.
You got a good one?
I'm looking for fun. Alright, let's talk about.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Let's talk about the Nick theory.
Yeah, the Nick.
What's the Nick theory?
What is the Nick theory?
What is it?
This is gonna be good, yo.
This guy-
Let me get roasted.
Oh, shit.
Nick theory.
Alright, this is the Nick theory, right?
Alright, let's do
He
it.
comes on the show, right? But not just on the show, and all his life, he's
In life.
super hyped up, talking about eating ass and doing that shit and
Right.
fucking a million bitches with a fucking
2
golden
million.
dick
2 million.
and like all kind of shit,
Oh,
right?
his wife.
Smoking all this shit, drinking and doing all this crazy shit.
Right.
I think that Nick, so like you know the Future theory that Future really doesn't do lean and he's never done drugs.
Oh, I never heard that.
And he's just like, and he really talks like nice and polite and
Right.
you know well
That nigga
spoken.
Future used to go to Yu-Gi-Oh!
that's the theory on Future is that he don't talk like that and he don't do drugs, right?
Right.
I'm thinking the Nick theory is Nick is just like how you say you are. He don't drink He has missionary sex.
Oh shit.
And
I just ran into it. I like the difference so far. It's very intuitive. Go ahead, continue.
and you probably go home and you just be, you know.
Can I answer that?
Have you ever seen Nick stories?
Well, shall I let y'all answer it first? Let y'all answer it.
You watch Friends and you chill out with your dog.
All right, that's a good hypothesis. What y'all think about that theory?
What I think about the theory is she's got everything all wrong. I think that Nick is who Nick is, and I think that he's slowly but surely become that choice because that's who he's wanted to be.
Yeah.
I think that maybe early on, I think that it could have been, it was different. You know what I mean? It was more calm, collective, like so on and so forth. Like, you know what I mean? He was probably fucking bitches or whatever the case may be.
How many years of just
with the dreads, everything?
I used to have the dreads. I was not
I knew him back then. So
I didn't know him, but I knew.
No, see, and that's the thing. I knew me and Nick, like we went to school together and everything like that, but I didn't know Nick. You know what I'm saying? Like I know more about Nick in the last 2 months than I've known him for 4 years, bro. Like, so it's like one of those things where I think that. And from high school, I didn't know Nick for being loud or anything like that. Like, I know Nick and his brother and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like on some chill shit. Like, they was cool peoples, you know what I mean? But I don't necessarily knew what they were doing outside school. So, but to me, I think that maybe prior to, but now I think the Nick who the fuck he wants to be. Nick is Nick.
What's the about theory?
Nick at night.
And I'm somewhat baiting a man, but I really have another agenda.
Like he doesn't eat any ass.
I don't eat any ass. I'm not. I'm vulgar like to.
He eating booty.
He got me eating booty. He eating booty. Well, yeah. The beard been coming in good.
The exact same dude that when we were properly introduced, he's the same dude back then to now.
So the Nick there.
This is a Nick there. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
No water.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. Knowledge, right, changes things, right? So when you're ignorant, and I was somewhat not a follower, but you know when you're a young kid, you just do whatever the new wave is, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Reading more. Looking at Facebook will remind you how fucking stupid you sound. Nigga, that was like 10 years ago. You was like 6 years. You was like, nigga, Facebook had told me a couple times like, yo, we can't do this again another 10 years. But I'm a little bit of both. I eat a lot of ass. I enjoy my vices, but at the same time, especially with weed, when I smoke, a lot of times it opens your mind. I'm like, damn, what are you really doing? Like you have a finite amount of time on this earth. How much you really learning? Are you learning what you need to learn, or you learning what they're trying to make you learn?
I feel like that's just you.
So it's a little bit of both. I'm gonna tell you that. It is. Sometimes you be like, you high shit, man. Shut your dumb ass. I don't know, but
I agree with him. You want to know why? It's because if you ever literally sit back and think about how long the average black man lives, what is it, like 67, 68 or something like that?
57.
How old are you?
33.
All right, how many years you got left to that 68, 69?
Less than half. A little more than half, man.
I lived
well, you a vegetarian. You might got 100.
You hope.
He a vegetarian. He
all right, but what I'm saying is, all right. So from let's say 30, you got 32 more years left, right?
That's not enough.
It's not. It doesn't seem like that's not a long time, right? So the question is from that standpoint of when you realize that, what are you going to do that by the time you reach that sort of point that either you're memorable, you left a legacy, you've done what you wanted to do in life, or however you may look at it.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
What is Nick?
Like I did
what
that.
Is 5 years from now?
I think about all that, and sometimes I think about like, yo, I just want to have fun in the gym. I'm gonna say some wild shit to Steve. So I'm really in between all that. Like sometimes I'll sit down and I'm like reading like some crazy shit about physics or like astrology, and then sometimes I'm like, yo, let's talk about asses.
Do you need to weed for that, or you can do that on your own?
Both. But I'm telling you, marijuana, the proper dosage makes you very, very introspective. So like, if you're not aware, if you're like worried about something, and then the right dosage, right, that you ain't to sleep on, you're like, yo, in the biggest sense of things, it's not that important.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
not. So I like that about me. Or sometimes when your head is inflated by like little dumbass shit, like maybe your social media presence, or you get in shape, or getting a raise for a job, and you realize that don't really mean anything either. So I like marijuana for that, not so much alcohol. But the theory is you're kind of onto something.
Am I?
I am all of this, and at times I'm none of it. Sometimes people will see me and like I'm not being joking.
He's
Like,
at
what's wrong with
circle.
Nick?
He's at full circle.
I'm just
What
chilling.
you talking about?
I'm a little bit
everything is everything, but
Yeah.
I ain't never. Yeah, that's the name. I'm that.
I ain't never meet that nigga.
I
I ain't never meet that nigga.
depends.
He's just not doing nothing now.
Another thing too, I use humor and like antics as a disguise to hide my pain. So if I'm going through some shit, I'm probably at my most wildest
Like
because
hemorrhoids.
I don't even have. I don't feel like sharing. Exactly. Look,
hemorrhoids.
I'm just real loud colors when I have my hurt right now. Look, I get a fresh shape up with my herpes bump. You know, just try to describe it. But it's like when you, for me, how I don't get angry. Like I'm going through some stuff.
Right.
How is it gonna behoove me to be mad at the people that's fucking with me?
Right.
So I'll just be more crazy.
Right.
And if you look through that, then you might be like, yo, this nigga really turned up. Maybe something going on with him.
And I had this thing where over the last, I want to say over maybe like the last, you know, like
That's the
10 months or so, 10 months or so, I've had this thing where like something that may have not gone the way I wanted it to, or something that may have disappointed me, whatever the case is. At that particular point in time, I think about it for a second. I might be upset, I might be mad, I might be disappointed, but I'm like, it's on to the next moment. Like now, you gotta understand that if you let that moment literally take control of you, then and you never get those moments back. Mm-hmm. So for Nick, when he, you know, if he is doing something and you know, or going through something, and he's like, and he's doing his wild out thing, whatever the case is, so he can feel good, whatever the case is, then I say that I applaud him for that, because you got to learn how to enjoy the next moment better than you did the last one.
Well, that's still him.
And that's my way. Everybody like that. Some
Yeah,
people
not
aren't.
everybody like that, but
I'm an extrovert. I'm an
extra.
extrovert. So that's just how I deal with my stress. But some people seclude themselves.
Yeah.
And this is more about knowing the people. So the theory you're on, and it's just like you said, it's a lot of gray. It's not black or white. Some days, most days, let's keep it real. Most days, Nick gonna be turned up. That's just what it is.
Right.
But there are a lot of days, the closer you are to me, or if you're outside.
That's a good way to end that joint, yo.
I think that's it. Oh, shit, I think we done.
The sugar Are we gonna do it right now?
What's that?
I'm not doing that.
No, we ain't doing it. He was trying to tell us he ain't doing it either.
I'm definitely not doing the Shiggy challenge.
Alright, so let's wrap it up real quick. Let's thank Sherrod Smith for coming on. And thank for all your work.
Shout out. Not safe for air.
What's your handle? Give me your handle.
Sherrod Smith 22.
Facebook, they can do first and last name?
Yeah, Sherrod Smith.
What about on Tinder and Grinders?
No Tinder.
Snapchat. Smart man.
Snapchat, Sherrod Smith 22. I don't have, what's the Twitter? I don't have the Twitter.
Real quick, I don't want to get too mushy, right?
Hey, Molly.
Molly. Real quick, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm saying that. So I barely know this guy as far as like my whole life, right? But friends, all you guys watching, if you could think of a good motherfucker, this guy is it. I just got a new car. I've been broken down in the middle of fucking nowhere in the rain with no one to call. I'm talking about family. He would show up, not ask for $1. Follow me to the next location, do this. Money, whatever, food, whatever. I just want to thank you for all those things and put it out there in the universe. I really appreciate it. I need that money. I need that money for the day. All right, thank you so much for coming on, man. Thank you. That's it.